All right, okay. Hey, everyone, what's up? Welcome to Pub Sports Radio. This is the Loshak in the Bag Show, Tuesday, June 21st. We're doing it up again. Jimmy the Bag. I'm feeling. I think as you can get my vibe, right? Feeling very good. A little bit nuts, but very good. I think I've had 3 consecutive winning weeks in a row on this show, and I said that I was wearing this goofy college kid outfit. For luck, it certainly worked. 3 weeks in a row. Backwards baseball hat, all about love glasses. I just added that on today. Still fits in with the goofy college kid look. And, of course, ratty Bob Marley T-shirt. And hopefully we can hopefully we can do it again. Jimmy the Bag. I'm feeling all right. How you doing, pal?
I'm doing well. I did lose first period under 1.5 and no goal first 10 minutes last night, which angered me. It angered me on many different levels, and we will discuss that because we are going to open with Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Finals. We are doing a final, I should say, because that's what we call it in the NHL, Stanley Cup Final, not the NBA Finals, 2 different things. But here, you've hit 5 straight in NHL. You've hit 5 straight, so we do want to hear your look on Game 4. So we are going to open with that, but man, baseball's just coming along nice. Sitting at my high water mark of the season, 135 wins, 117 losses, 53.6%, plus 6.79 units, ROI plus 2.69%, average line minus 108. Those of you might be sitting back there going, well, that's not that good of a record. Look, I was down just under 17 units 3.5 weeks ago. Feels really goddamn good. This spot. And I'm really excited. Another thing that's happening, and it's kept me off of the first 5 under in the Reds-Dodgers game and the full game under 9.5, is that the bets that jump out at me are losing. A negative ROI on the bets that I just immediately want to make. And Friday was this perfect example of it. I had the Blue Jays that I was very confident in against the lefty. I had the White Sox going up against lefty. I ended up going 0-3 and a push on actually 1-3 because I cashed the first 5 over 4.5 in the White Sox Astros game. So 1-3 in a push, and then was just cashing all of the bets that I made with the group, with the capping together, and I just nonstop cashers on those. So I had a winning day regardless of my picks losing. So I feel good, Pete. And these Tuesdays, you've been rolling. These Tuesdays have been very profitable for all of us. And we're still as a group on this beautiful 3-month run where we're just making money.
Very nice. Hope I can help today, Jimmy the Bag. I've been last couple weeks, I've taken it a little bit easy. I've been pimping a little bit. Pimping ain't easy. Takes a lot of effort and energy and time. So that's what I've kind of been up to. Still following along, but a little less intensely than previously, and definitely a little less intensely than I will be doing it in July for sure. But we'll have a great show today, Jimmy the Bag. It's gonna be
I'm pumped up. So this is the situation. We're going to talk about this first Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Finals. We're going to discuss it. Then we're going to move on to the entire MLB card. And then we're going to have Parlay Teece joining us. Teece joining us out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He's given us 4 best bets on WNBA so far this year, and he's 4-0 on them. So he's going to come in and give us a best bet, one single game. That game is the Dream game. So he's going to be talking to us about Wings at Dream. And then if you want his entire card today, you got to check him out on the WNBA show at 4 p.m. Eastern. Shout out to all the cappers in the chat, ready to get to work. We got Viper MD in the house. Says back from vacation from Austin, ready to get this bread. Twins first 5-1/2. Dodgers on the run line. Mets money line locked in so far. I'm going to copy and paste this action here from my guy, Vipe. A lot of our friends made money on the Mets yesterday, and they're going right back to the well. And I don't blame them, but I've made no bets. The Friday, just the gut picks, not the gut picks, but the picks that I liked just on my own have not been succeeding. So why not just do all my work with you guys? There's Mark Schillingberg in the house, his low bag fam. Jimmy, Pete, nice night last night. I said the champs weren't just going to roll over. They're too good. Bassi is too good. Injuries are the only thing that can stop Tampa Bay now, in my opinion. Well, injuries are, and look at Dave right underneath, says, hate to tell you, Mark, but the Avs are a much better team, Avs in 6. They're a much better team with Kadri and Burakovsky in the lineup. When you take those 2 guys out of the lineup and then you add Braden Point, it's a big evener. And I'm not sitting here saying that the Lightning are going to win this series, but let's say you take 2 top 6 forwards off of any team, and it's tough to just play at the level you were playing before. And we'll discuss all that. Jedi for life in the house. I love my guy, Jedi for life. Pistol Pete, he's a pediatrician. He's a very intelligent capper that hangs with us. Jedi for life. And
shit. Shout out to you, Jedi for life.
Keep an eye out for Jedi for life stuff because he's a great guy, great capper, and a big addition to our family. D. Jenkins ready to get to work. Says, what's good, fellas? MLB card yesterday, or tough MLB card yesterday, still went 2-0. Tigers team total under. Shout out to Ron Lofton. And Jay's team total over 5. Easy. Nice job, D. Jenkins. Nice job. All right, Danny Lopez ready to get to work. Jedi says the Yanks must have sold their soul. They just keep finding ways to win. It's pretty impressive. And he's calling him the soulless Yanks. There's our guy, GTM in the house. Michael Irvelina, Tori Coker, Saturated, says the gambling gods are a fickle bunch. They are. They mistreated you this weekend. I apologize. I hate hearing that. Let me just say I hate hearing that. But you've been so hot, Saturated. You'll get right back. Billy Friedrich says Lightning looked great last night. My boy Maroon got that forecheck working. God, does anybody go to the net better than Patrick Maroon? Did you see Cirelli and Maroon go to the net last night and get rewarded? That's such a dangerous thing to do. Cut to the net like that. And some players are afraid to do that, like Elias Pettersson of the Canucks. But the Canucks made a huge signing yesterday. The best player in the KHL now plays for the Vancouver Canucks, and we are extremely excited about that. But we got other stuff to talk about. Mike M. ready to go. Bruce Hayward, Fireside. Saturated says, I know you need days off or whatever, but damn, Lowback Nation needs you Saturday to Monday. Don't worry. It's we'll discuss all that. There's some change in the winds here as we move forward. Serious Business. Clint started the diehard MMA podcast. There's Slatsy. Says tough series for me so far. He's on the Mets today. It's a tough series for me. I mean, I've got this superlative playoff record, but I'm 2-5. 2-5 down 2.92 units in the Stanley Cup Finals, but I'm still 29-18 in the playoffs plus 13.5 units. So it's okay. It's okay. We got a ton of work to do. I wish I could say hi to all of you guys. Dave saying interested in your take on the Sox Blue Jays game. I'm looking forward to this whole MLB card. Dommy Gun Ricci, he's going to be making an appearance here on the show here next week. Says 3-in-1 night, doubled up on the Brewers last night, first 5 and run line. Okay, Bo Jackson ready to go. North Ender ready to eat. This is Dommy Gun's action. So why don't we just lock in Dommy Gun's action, and then we will get to work here. Where is Dommy Gun's action? Any other comments you want to point out? Pistol Pete, are you ready to rock and roll?
Yeah, no, I'm ready to go. I think I'm ready to go. Got to take this shit serious. Hopefully we can have another winning day right here at Pub Sports Radio. Loshak in the Bag Show. Shout out to all low baggers. Hell yeah.
Johnny K saying Stamkos, Conn Smythe. I still give it to Kucherov at this point, but God, has he been good. Dommy Gun says, love that first 5 under 5 with Reds. I get it. I completely get it. Interesting. So I was very interested in the line. Comes out 5 and 9.5. Juice to the overs. So I'm like, what's it going to be like in the morning? Wake up and it's juice to the unders. The 5 went down to minus 120. I bet 3 side, then came back 5 cents. I went over to Pinnacle and it's juice to the over at Pinnacle, but the 9.5 full game is juice to the under to minus 111, juice to the under to the extent where it might even go down to 9, but that 5 isn't dropping. I find that extremely riveting information. PG00187 on Oakland A's money line. And Dommy Gun says Astros big under team. Their last 10, first 5, 8 overs, 2 unders. Oof.
Yeah, they've always been a big under team at home going back a bunch of years. Despite having a powerful lineup, they're always very deceptive to pound overs in home games for the Astros, and it's certainly the same way this year.
Ooh, look at this. Dutch Boy Fresh says the daily sesh is starting Wednesday at 4:20 Eastern. We got a 4:20 daily sesh. I like that. That's great. That is really dope.
Very nice. Hey, Dutch Boy Fresh, check. Look, I look pretty cool. Right? Look at him. Not a bad look, right, Dutch Boy Fresh? What do you think?
It's an improving look. It's an improving look. There's my guy Dan Bonner in the house. He's never tuned in on a Tuesday. Oh, Dan Bonner, you are in luck because you get to see Pistol Pete Loshak at work, the man that we all strive to be capping wise. He's the man we've all looked up to, and my show is all based on what I saw from Pistol Pete, because when I came into this industry, I believe that this industry was extremely fraudulent, and the one man that I knew wasn't was Pistol Pete Loshak, who was transparent with every single pick he made. And
not the wisest career move, but it's what I did. It's what I did,
But you are in luck. You get to see this all. Trenton Claxton says Toronto got some issues in the club. They have no issues. They just have a terrible bullpen, and they have holes in their team, and they're a young squad, but they're a good team. I got off them at the right time, but I did lose on them first 5 in full game with Montgomery. That was not enjoyable. I was at a fucking wake. A heavy emotional wake, and every time I look down, it's the fucking Yankees scoring runs. All right, Roger, that says Blue Jays have no issues. I agree with that. Okay, let's get to work right now. It's great to have all of you guys. I wish I could give you all a what up, because you all deserve it, but let's get to work right now, Pete. We want your take in NHL here. Now, we're going to cap this game heavier tomorrow with Mr.
Right.
Gokster, but we want to hear Pistol Pete's take, as he has cashed 5 straight.
First of all, Jim, last week's video was a perfect example of it. And in fact, I can tell you the exact timestamp. It was like 2 hours at the 2 hour and 35-minute mark. You know what I do, Jim? When it comes to NHL, I just sit back and listen. And sometimes some shit comes to me. You know what I mean? I'm not capping these games directly. I'm capping them through you. So my take on this game is whatever you have to say about it. And then maybe I'll think about what you have to say about it, read what some of the commenters have to say, and then maybe something will come to me. But I have no original opinion on this game,
whatever you're doing, it's working. And when you went 4-0 the game 2 weeks ago, it was extremely impressive. You made more. You added more units to your record than anybody I knew in that game. So whatever you're doing, it's working. And what I did last night, it didn't work. I wish I could have talked it out with more people. Because the reason why we were cashing overs in the series was because of my belief that Kemper is a sieve. I don't like saying that because he was very good in the second half of the year, but he's not that good of a goalie. And because of that, the Avalanche are going to have to score goals to win games. And losing Burakovsky and then already down Kadri, I'm getting cold feet. Now, you guys know I'll make more money if the Lightning win the Cup than the Avs. And I've cut my unit size down in the playoffs down to $125 because I don't want to sit here and lose $1,000 if things go awry. But let's talk about this. So the Lightning have now won a franchise record 8 straight playoff games at home, and Colorado lost for the first time on the road this postseason. So this Lightning team, just to show their pedigree, is the first team since 1919 to win a Stanley Cup Final game after losing by 7+ goals the previous game. That 7-0 loss was the most lopsided loss in the team's playoff history. And, of course, they're trying to be the first team in 40 years to three-peat. They're just rolling right now, and it's funny to say that after a 7-0 loss, but they said all the right things after they lost. We lost the game, not the series, was the key thing here. And for the first time, we're going to see some real fear in the Avalanche. And even when I say that, I know that's not fully true, that the Blues put some fear into the Avalanche as well. So Mike Smith says over 6, riding the wheels off, 3-0 in this series. Dennis Garcia says, everyone knew Tampa Bay would bring their best game last night. Series decided Wednesday, expected to be close. So do I. Dan Barnett got their one and only win. Sorry, Avs want to win at home. Avs had to pick them his money. Pete, I'm going to talk about the market moves and stuff like that in a bit, but what are your initial thoughts here and feelings?
Well, I did have Tampa Bay first period yesterday. Just because I couldn't not do it, right? After the big shutout, are they going to get swept? Probably not. When are they going to have a good period? If ever that was going to happen, it was going to be in the first period of the last game. So, I did bet that one. Tonight, I feel the same way about a lower scoring start to the game. Now, I definitely haven't bet it, but before I hear what you have to say and read what the comment section has to say about it, If you gave me a free bet right now, I'd put it on the first period under. Now I know that what Colorado does, and here we have Mike Arvelina saying the Avs could have been up 3-0 in the first 10 minutes yesterday. Would you agree with that, Jimmy the Bag?
I would.
Yeah.
I mean, I was on the first 10, or sorry, no goal in the first 10 minutes. The Lightning were very fortunate that that puck was just a tiny, tiny bit offside, and the Avs were getting a lot of chances. And the Avs are clearly a faster hockey team, and speed kills.
Right. Speed kills, right. So, it's not that I think the under is a good play. It's that I think that if the first period, if ever there's going to be a game where the first period under is a good play, it's probably this one. So that's my first thought. That would be, if you gave me a free play on it right now, that's what I would put it on. But maybe the Avs are just too good and too fast to ever be a good play on an under ever.
Maybe that's the case. Because in my mistake, I thought that the Lightning would have to play similar to the way they played against the Panthers to win games here. And that's not the case. They have to abuse the one edge they have, and that's in the goaltending department. North Ender says John Cooper in the second period when the Bolts were up 3-2 said we're playing too defensive and trying to keep the lead. We should take it to them. Pretty interesting. Tampa knows that they have to score. Dennis Garcia says lean Colorado, lean under. Ron Crawford, Colorado team total over. At this point, I'm with you. I lean under. Look, Colorado to me is a better hockey team, but you take off Kadri and Burakovsky, and then you have Kemper questioning himself when we know Vasilevsky doesn't. And are they still a better hockey team? I don't know if they are anymore, and I would be leaning towards the thought that they aren't. Now, they still have home ice advantage. So Kadri's such a huge loss, and Burakovsky's a big loss, but they have players like Burakovsky. It's just Kadri. Look at who's scoring the goals for the Avs. It's Landeskog. He plays in the dirty areas. He's this guy has been the captain of this hockey team since he was 19 years old. He's now 30 years old. He's a man. He knows where to go. He's just you almost want to say perfect hockey player. I mean, he's close to that. And Kadri is exactly the type of player you need in these battles, and not having him hurts so badly. Dave Redling says Game 4 will be close, but Avs should win by 1. Slatsy says so many potential big injuries, tough to make a call without lineups. Mike M says home ice advantage is a big deal in the series. You got Denver, altitude, and Tampa Bay at sea level. Interesting matchup. Joko says referee killed the momentum of Avalanche once they remove the first score of the game. Coin says that altitude in Denver is a thing. Tampa Bay will have to win there to hoist the cup. Dommy Gunn will be on the Avs team total over. If this game does go down to 5.5, I'll be on the over. And Puzzler says Palat's return makes a difference. And we'll know more about those injuries because no one will skate today. So I guess I just
want to say one more thing. My second thought is that, of course, Tampa Bay could win this game and even up the series, but should they be almost even with Colorado? I mean, at first glance, it seems like Colorado should be at least a little bit bigger of a favorite than they are right now.
Mark Schlingberg says if they lose Cooch, he will probably play through whatever injury he can, but that will hurt. We'll definitely need lineups before saying anything. Yes, if the Lightning injuries are legitimate and that evens out with Burakovsky and Kadri being out, then the Avalanche will win. If that is not the case, then Lightning will win Game 4, and we start anew in altitude. Unfortunately, I'm very thankful I got to talk this out, but I'm no closer to doing anything. I do lean under. I don't think every game will be played like this, but then when I say that, one thing I was really upset I didn't take the Lightning team total over last night because it just seems and I said it right in the beginning of the series. I said the only way the Lightning can battle is if they score a bunch of goals. It's not like the Panthers series. Dan Bonner says, Cooch, a huge worry for the Lightning. My man went down the tunnel with 5 to go in the third. That's scary. I don't think it's scary when you're up 6-2. Any kind of ailment whatsoever. You've won the game. Pete, is there anything you want to make official? And I'm sorry that I didn't kind of shed more light on the situation, but I need to talk this out as well.
I mean, this is tough as hell, Jimmy the Bag. But, Tampa Bay first period in Game 3 was kind of obvious. I mean, is there any way that is there any reason to think that Colorado will, at least in the beginning, try to protect their goalie a little bit, or are they just going to be like, do whatever you can, we're just going to score enough to win, and just let us know how much you need us to score and we'll do it?
They won't. Bednar will not.
That's not what they do.
But Bednar won't. Bednar will only instill confidence in this goaltender. The last thing he's going to do is tell the boys, look, we got to change our style here and protect Kemper more. There's no chance anyone saying I hope Francouz starts. Francouz is not starting. It's going to be Kemper. They have faith in him. They saw what he did in the second half. They believe in him. When they shut down the Lightning in Game 2 and held the Lightning to 16 shots, it wasn't because they were in a defensive shell. It was because they were all over the Lightning. So they're going to be all over the Lightning here. And man. Puzzler says,
go ahead, Jim.
Oh, Puzzler says, do you believe Kadri will return in the next game or two? I mean, look, we know what it is. It's a thumb injury, and he's already had surgery. So I just don't know how he's gripping things. I'm not going to sit here and guess. We know what the injury is, and he's already had surgery for it. So.
All right, let me ask you one final question, Jimmy the Bag, before I make a possible decision here. In the Toronto game, in the Toronto series, right? Tampa Bay did well at home, but they gave up goals and goals and goals to Toronto despite winning. And then in the next two series, all their home games, they were very low scoring for the other team. Why would that be? Was there something about Toronto that was just able to blitz them, or is it a style of play that they changed up in the Florida and Rangers series?
Well, they didn't have Braden Point, and he carries the puck. He has the puck more than any player on the Lightning, so that was the change there. But Braden Point's playing hurt right now. It's I believe if the Leafs had beaten the Lightning, they're here in the Stanley Cup Finals. The Leafs were a really good hockey team, just not good enough. It just didn't have the toughness in the key points. But look out when the Leafs are going to come. We all know what kind of player Austin Matthews is, and Mitch Marner still has to step up in the playoffs. And I don't like their coaching. I don't like some of the decisions they've made for player personnel. They've been the management's been so bad in Toronto that they're wasting these superstar talents.
But the Avs are as good or better offensively than Toronto, no? As they are right now.
Oh, yeah, definitely. The Avs are on a higher level than Toronto offensively, sure, yeah. Definitely.
So why would we not like the Colorado team total over, even at minus 160 at 2.5?
Because the Lightning believe in themselves all of a sudden. And what does that mean? That means Vasilevsky believes in himself. And they know that they have to win Game 4 at home, and they've won 8 straight games at home in the playoffs. I tell you what I'm not going to do. Now, obviously, we need to know that the stars of the Lightning are healthy, and I think they're going to be fine. But I'm not going to – I don't see a bet on the Avalanche in my future for Game 4. I don't see why I would. Dennis Garcia says, no, Jimmy, stop. The Leafs have talent. They lack literally everything else. Yeah, I mean, that talent is superb talent, and that's why they were up 3-1 and lost 3 one-goal games. Look, I'm not a Leafs fan. I'm happy they lost. But they have elite offensive talent. Ron Walsack says, duel between Hot Rod Charlie and Mind Control at Mama Saturday was a must-watch classic. Oh, I've watched it many times. I can't believe Mind Control came back.
Here we go. Nutflush Allen. The team total Colorado is the play, but I won't take it minus 165. I can see minus 150 at Will Hill. Nutflush Allen endorsing a Colorado team total overplay.
Yeah, I would. Let's just go there really quickly here, and then we'll move on because we got so much work to do here on baseball. But yeah, it's too bad. I mean, look, I would love to. I would like to fade the Avalanche in Game 4.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, definitely. And Dave Redling says Kadri's supposed to be back for Game 4. Look, if Kadri comes back, it's such a giant game changer. So there's a lot of injury issues that we've got. And I promise you, I will study everything. I'll go all over the beat writers. I'll have everything for tomorrow, all the expectations. Obviously, we weren't going to know anything today, and none of them will practice today. But I think that...
All right, Jim. We're having a little fun here. It's been a fun show so far, right? A little bit? Yes?
Sure.
All right,
I have not illuminated anything for myself, really. Here.
You can put this on my official record. Colorado Avalanche team total over 2.5 minus 150 current line at Will Hill. I've been listening and reading, and that's what I'm going to do for you, Jim.
All right, you're locked in.
Official record.
Dan Bonner says, if you like Avs team total over, I would say that Rantanen and assist minus 125 is a safer play because it's clear that when the Avs are scoring, he's facilitating. If you think they score 3, he's involved in 1 for sure. North Ender says, I would love to bet the under. I'm with Billy Friedrich says, have to disagree with the Avs team total over. This may be the game where Avs gets a shutout. I don't know about that. I don't know about getting a shutout, but the Lightning are a confident group right now and a professional group, and God, there's injuries. There's injuries to this Avs team. It's too bad they don't have Kadri. He's perfect for this series. He's perfect for playoff hockey. Fanatical Jim says if Lightning win, then Game 5 is an auto over bet. May even be a goalie change for the Avs. I don't see Francouz. Even if the Avs get lit up and they have to pull Kemper again, I don't believe Francouz will be in that for Game 5.
What injuries besides Kadri?
Burakovsky.
Right. And Burakovsky, right.
Yeah. Don't panic. R's in the house. Great to see you. Don't panic. Ready to rock. D. Jenkins says, haven't made a play on the series yet. Been waiting on a good time to back Vasilevsky. Wasn't sure if I could trust him last game after giving up 7. But now this breakdown has me leaning Vasi saves. Puzzler says, Roto has him expected to return tomorrow for what it's worth. If he's got to practice fully today, and we've got to see clips of him taking one-timers before I'm going to believe any of that. Okay, Pistol Pete, we added this game to this show just because we want you to stay hot. He won 5 straight bets in the NHL playoffs, and he's on the Avs. Team total over 2.5 and minus 150. Real Deal Prime says it's now Colorado's turn to adjust. They haven't adjusted all playoffs. I thought there was some adjustment. In the Blues series, okay. What's happening now for the first time, or at least I shouldn't say it's fully happening, but the role players on the Lightning stepped up and outplayed the role players on the Avalanche, pretty blatantly last night with Maroon and Nick Paul playing the way they're playing. So, okay, Pete, you're locked in. We'll have Mr. Gokster here and a full breakdown tomorrow. It is time to talk MLB, Pistol Pete, and these first 2 games are fascinating, and I'd like to move on both of them. Let's get to work. We start at 6:40 p.m. Eastern. But before we do that breakdown, Pete, you're coming off a nice Tuesday here with us. Let me just pull up your action here from your spreadsheet.
Yeah, it was a small winning day last week.
Plus 0.78 units. The Pirates team total over 4 didn't cash, but the Miami Philly over 8.5 was an easy casher, and I went along with it. Your Baltimore Toronto first 3 over 2.5 cashed in that 3rd inning. Oakland Boston under 9.5 was a casher. You had San Diego Chicago Cubs run first inning, which cashed. Somehow you didn't cash that first 5 over 5.5, which is nuts. I think that there were 17 runs scored in that game. You didn't cash that. And then you went for a big score on Rockies -1 plus 218, and you lost that in extra. So you went 4 and 3 plus 0.78 units, but you came very close. And this is, you've done this often where you still come out a little bit ahead, but you came very close to having a huge.
Yeah. I mean, that's how baseball goes. A lot of close calls in most of your bets.
Yeah. And you went for it. For me, I have not made a bet since Friday in MLB. I just needed some time kind of just to regroup, and I did have some nice CFL for me, and I had a great Saturday of betting, which didn't include MLB. But my Friday went 4-3 plus 1.05 units. I lost on the Blue Jays first 5. I lost on the Blue Jays full game. I pushed the White Sox first 5. I lost on the White Sox first game. I cashed White Sox Houston first 5 over 4.5. I cashed the Diamondbacks first 5 at plus 110. I cashed the Giants Pirates under 8, and I cashed the Marlins team total over 3.5, and I pushed game 2 of the Nationals first 5. Let's get right to work right now. And Ronnie says, smart man to me, you know what I love? I love coming in to work refreshed and pumped up and excited. And sometimes I need to kind of regroup and just focus on the horses over the weekend. Let's go. Colorado Rockies 30-37, 11-18 on the road at the Miami Marlins, 29-36, 15-14 at home. We're at loanDepot Park in Miami, Florida. We have an interesting situation on the bump here with both pitchers. Ryan Feltner, 1-2, 4.85 ERA, 1.15 whip, 26 innings, 29 Ks, 7 walks, 4 home runs allowed, 25-year-old fireballer. He shut down the Padres last start, 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run. It was a solo shot, 6 Ks, 1 walk, 1 extra inning win at San Diego. And he shut down this Marlins team a few starts back, a team that's raking against righties, not as much as the Rockies are raking against lefties. But Daniel Castano is a tricky pitcher to figure out, Pete.
Yeah.
He's only pitched 60 innings in the big leagues over the last 3 years, but he's always looked decent. Why does he not get to break bread with this club? Last start, he went 6 2/3, 5 hits, no earned runs in a 3-1 loss at the Phillies, a Philadelphia team that's raking lefties. He's throwing 10 2/3 so far this year. He is not allowed an earned run. Both bullpens are terrible. The question is this when the glory ends? Is this when it all comes to end? Let's take a look at where the cash lies. And first off, I'm going to pull up the line history here, but the cash in this one, there's 5,434 tickets in. 73% of the tickets, 88% of the cash is on the Marlins. 61% of tickets, 89% cash is on the under. Take it away, Pete. First game on the board, Rockies, Marlins.
Yeah, very tricky. It's an educated guess on what's going on with Castano. For most of his minor league career, he didn't have great strikeout numbers, and he didn't project to be, that first glance on the surface, that great of a major league pitcher. But there's no doubt that he's been legitimately at least excellent so far this year, if not legitimately lights out. I would expect regression from him, and I haven't pulled the trigger on it yet. But I'm definitely leaning Colorado first 3 or first 5. Feltner, I think, is also the real deal when it comes to, at least in this situation. He should have. He had one great start against Miami already this year, and I suspect that he'll have another at least solid start here. So, as a small dog, leaning Colorado first 3 and first 5. Haven't pulled the trigger on it yet. And maybe a small lean to Miami team total under as well, but definitely haven't pulled the trigger on that one yet either. That's how I'm feeling, Jim.
Yeah, I wanted to bet the Rockies first 5, but I wanted to talk it out. There's been a 5-cent move to the Marlins. That's not a very big move when you consider how much money is on them right now. And then this total opened up at 8.5. It lasted there for 4 hours or so before it dropped to 8. It's now slightly juiced to the over 8. I think that there's top set in the house. I think that's what I would like to do is take this Rocky squad first 5. They're plus 110 to win the game at Bet365, but just plus 100 first 5. Am I going to sit here and believe that Daniel Castano is just going to keep putting up these donuts on the board? There's our guy, Nasty Nate, says once a game came in first in all Texas games, cornhole, beer pong, bar basketball, biggest fish.
Hell yeah.
And our guy, Nasty Nate, coming back from San Antonio. And we do have our new video out on Pub Sports Radio of the boys in a fishing contest in Texas. And we have a little sneak preview of that video that we're going to show you guys today here. I love it, Nate, my man.
All right, Jim, it's not one of my favorite plays on the card, but we can make it official. Colorado Rockies, first 3, minus 105. I'll be on it. Not one of my top plays on the card, but I'll be on it, so we can make it official.
Rockies first 3, minus 105.
Minus 105.
Okay, so the Rockies full game for me are plus 110.
Yeah.
First 5, they're plus 100. Let's just see what they are first 3 for me, minus 110. All right. D. Jenkins is hard to trust Castano and Feltner, in my opinion. So let me ask you this, Pete. Feltner shuts down the Marlins, 3 or 4 starts ago?
Yeah.
Does that give you more confidence in Feltner? Or do you think that,
I don't think it was, it's obviously that was in Miami, if I'm not mistaken. And so, that shows that he's the kind of pitcher who, is probably going to continue to be good against, these kinds of lineups in those kinds of parks. So yeah, it was weighed a little bit on me, on my decision for this one. Yeah.
Well, Pete, I'm going to come with you here. I'm going to take the first 5 though on the Rockies. Okay. It was my plan all along, but I wanted to talk it out. I wanted to see the limited.
No, it was at Coors. Sorry, it was at Coors where he pitched against Miami. That's right.
It was at Coors. Okay.
Yeah. But then, his last start was at San Diego, kind of, a similar kind of team. And San Diego, of course, has a lineup that has been very productive recently, and he had a good start there. He got a little hit lucky, but just overall, it's that my numbers indicate it's a pretty good spot for Colorado here.
Arise looking at Cron over 1.5 total bases. Roger, that is an important point too. Says Miami coming off that intense series with the Mets. I'm in, and it was my plan all along, but did want to talk it out. All right, let's move on to the next game that pops off before 7 p.m. That's 6:40 p.m. Eastern, and this is the most fascinating game on the board because I had to stop myself from betting it. Los Angeles Dodgers 40-25, 20-13 on the road at Cincinnati Reds 23-43, 12-20 at home. We're at Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati, Ohio. Tony Gonsolin going up against Tyler Mahle. Gonsolin, I've been betting him first 5 -1/2, full game -1 on all starts lately, and he's been a big part of my turnaround. 8-0, 1.42 ERA, 0.82 WHIP, 60 Ks and 63 in the third, 20 walks and 4 home runs. In his last start, he goes 6 in the third, allows 1 hit, no earned run, 6 Ks, 2 walks, and a 2-0 win at home versus the Angels. Going up against Tyler Mahle, man, has Mahle turned it around? I believe in his talent. He's coming off a complete game 3-hit shutout. I guess it's not a shutout. Sorry, I guess they lose in extra innings. God, it never goes right for this team or this guy. Sorry. 9 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, 12 Ks, no walks. He's spectacular in the start, but they lose in extras. And he threw 119 pitches, but he's been throwing over 100 pitches on most of his starts. I wonder if the 119 will hurt him. Dodgers are hitting 249, 757 OPS versus righties. Reds are hitting 235, 676 OPS. Dodgers bullpen 3.41 ERA, 1.15 WHIP, very good. And the Reds bullpen 5.06 ERA, 1.45 WHIP, not very good. Let's just take a look at the weather, the line history, the cash, and then hand it over to Pistol Pete. Loshak, 93 Fahrenheit at first pitch, feels like 95. 8.2 miles per hour out to left field. It dies down to 5.9 by the end of the game. We go over to the line history in this one. Just move that here. We have a 10-cent move to the Cincinnati Reds. The initial move was to the Dodgers. It was a 15-cent move towards them. So since then, that was at 8:59 p.m., there's been a 25-cent move back. The Dodgers are now minus 175, Reds plus 155, and this total 9.5, minus 115 to the under, has not moved. That full game total has not moved. Sorry, let me just pull this back. And let me just see what the first 5. Oh, it has. It's moved 5 cents. So it's at minus 120. And that first 5 under is now at minus 125. So it's moved 10 cents since the last time I looked on that first 5 under. And let's take a look at the cash here in this one. We have 9,341 tickets in. 9% of the tickets, 15% of the cash on the Reds. And then you have 78% of the tickets and 97% of the cash on the under. Wow. Wow. CT Bay said that he thought this first 5 could go to 4.5. And I was like, I don't know, man, because at Pinnacle, it was still juiced to the over in the first 5. And let's just see that right now. Let's just see if Pinnacle still has this juice to the over first 5. And it's slightly juiced to the under at minus 108. It's minus 108 to the under 5 at Pinnacle and minus 125 at Bet365. Wow. Pete, take it away. Shed some light.
My numbers, and I bet it, and I guess I'll make it official. My numbers do kind of like the Dodgers team total over here. Not necessarily loving a play on the Dodgers or on the over as much, but my numbers like the Dodgers a little bit and the over a little bit, and then much more the Dodgers team total over. And it could easily be one of those games where Amalie is good again for 6 innings, gives up 1 or 2 runs. And then the Dodgers get a push if you take 5 or an over at 5.5. So it's a little bit. I don't love the line movement and the betting numbers that you just rattled off, Jimmy the Bag. But Molly, yeah, it's a down spot for Molly, kind of an up spot for the Dodgers lineup. And all right, if it loses, that's okay. I'm going to definitely be safe on this one. And at Will Hill, I'll take the over 5 at -135 instead of like 5.5 at +100. That's just a safe thing to do. And I'll make that official. Dodgers team total over 5 at -135. If Molly comes in and throws another, 7 to 8 innings, 0 or 1 run game, good for him. I'll take the L. And maybe I'll review my numbers again and see where they might have gotten something wrong. But as of right now, they're saying that is a decent play, so I'll take it. Dodgers team total over 5 -135.
Wow. Mike M saying the Dodgers 0-17-1 to the under in game 1 of the series. Red Girl, Dodgers first 5 and under. Dabby Cab, what's happening, my man? Mike M says covered 6 run lines in a row as a fave versus the Reds. First 5 under, I like. Eric Jones leaning towards.
Wow, everyone liking these unders. Wow, look at this.
It was the very first thing that jumped out at me, and I've now taught myself not to bet that. Don't bet the first thing that jumps off the board. There's cappers we have certain cappers who say trust your gut, and you can simplify things in MLB.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. It just doesn't work for me. When I do that, I lose. My first instinct has a negative ROI. I've got to dig to win. So I get it. I get why you guys are all on the under. Dabby Cab says Molly's already given up 7 runs in the game against the Dodgers this year.
I would definitely be leaning Dodgers -1 as well, too. And I'll probably be on that with a bet by first pitch.
So let's just discuss this a little more. So I'd be backing Gonzo first 5 in full game throughout, or not throughout, but for a while here. And do you think that Molly's complete game brilliance against Arizona is giving us a great price on the Dodgers that we should take advantage of?
I'd say slightly okay, slightly decent, yeah.
I mean, you were going up against a team that's 20 games under 500.
Yeah, I mean it's based on the numbers here. Overall on the year, Gonsolin's numbers are. I mean, Molly's numbers are good overall on the year, but Gonsolin's numbers are better. And yeah, look, it's baseball. The edges are small. It's a game of inches. And someone said, how many times have the Dodgers scored more than 5 in their last whatever games? And that's obviously they've been underachieving a bit, slumping a bit offensively in general over the past few weeks, for sure. Molly's excellence was not a shock, but it's just the way that the numbers I look at indicate small value with the Dodgers and the Dodgers team total over. So I'll take that. Might be a safer play to take the Dodgers -1, but I'll just go with the team total over.
Well, he gets Cody Bellinger out, but who doesn't over the last year and a half? Cody Bellinger 1 for 7. Freddie Freeman hitting .364 against him. We know Mookie Betts out of the lineup. Trey Turner doesn't hit him very well, 2 for 9. Justin Turner 2 for 2. Chris Taylor hitting .286 against him. Max Muncy 4 for 10. I
might be staring at a loss right in the face here, Jimmy the Bag. Yeah, for sure.
I don't think that's I'm starting to talk myself into backing the Dodgers here. I mean, Gonsolin just keeps taking care of me, and here we have Molly with a 9 innings of brilliance coming back home. Dave Redling looking at Amalie strikeouts. Sorry we've taken so long in this game. I just find this one the most fascinating game on the board here. Let me just take one quick peek at these splits, and then we will move on here. Quick look at these splits for Tyler Amalie, who's certainly, 1.71 ERA this month. We know that he's turned his season around, which we were waiting for that to happen. But still 0-3 at home. They're hitting 247 against him at home, 194 on the road. Roger that says Gonsolin is lights out, Jimmy. He sure is. Puzzler says Molly's had only one bad start in the last month. And Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play of the day is in.
Wow. Okay.
So I guess so. The last time Gonsolin pitched at home against the Angels, it was the exact same situation where 75 to 80% of cash was on the Dodgers and the market was moving towards the Angels.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't let it affect me. Coin saying LA Dodgers 3-3 in Gonsolin's road starts. Why don't we just take one last look at his splits and then we can just move past this here. Sorry, one more click here. Pete is locked in, and he's been locked in for a while. Sorry, Pete. I just want to move on this game. It's such a fun one, and I don't want that to force action here. Let's just pull up Gonzo's splits. And Gonzo, 0.81 ERA at home. Wow. Their opponents are hitting 118 against them, but they're hitting 178 against them on the road. He's just a hell of a pitcher. Just a hell of a pitcher. Okay. Arise talking about the sweaty balls. It's okay. We're sponsored by Manscaped. We can take care of those. First five. I guess the first 5 minus a half, just in case Gonzo's pitching great. I guess the only move for me to do is the full game -1. And if I was to move on the full game -1 on the Dodgers, which takes Amalie out of it, focusing on the bullpen advantage, it's a -175 and a -115. And I'll pop this here and just see what price it would be here. -170. Okay, -170 and plus -115. -145. That's expensive. Okay. Well, I guess I got more to think about here. I'm going to pop the -1 calculator in the chat if anybody needs it. Cameron Hurt says Gonsolin will remain undefeated. Okay. Thank you, Arise. Let's move on. Pete has moved on the Dodgers team total over 5 at -135. Dommy Gun, they gave me a bad line. -175 and -115 to -145. Okay, we move on. 7:05 p.m. Eastern. Chicago Cubs 25-42, 12-17 on the road at the Pittsburgh Pirates 27-39, 15-19 at home. We're at PNC Park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We'll start with the weather at PNC Park. 89 Fahrenheit, feels like 91, 8.3 miles per hour out to left field, dies to 6.2 miles per hour. Let's take a look at the line here in Pittsburgh. The Pirates open up at -125. There's been a 30-cent move towards them. 30-cent move towards them. This total opened up at 8.5. It's now up to 9, and it's juiced to the over. It opened up at 8.5 as a pick'em. And now it's at 9, juiced to the over. Take a look at the cash flow in this one. We have 6,695 tickets in. By the way, I always talk about the Sports Insights giving value, implied value to whatever line. There's nothing. There's one team has half, and one team has the tiniest sliver. That tiniest sliver is Castano and the Marlins. And the team with half is Detroit Tigers. That's it. Nobody else with anything on the entire board here. With this spot, we have 6,695 tickets in. 68% of the money line tickets are on the Pittsburgh Pirates, 72% of the cash. Makes sense, moving in their direction. And then 30% of the tickets on the over and 86% of the cash, which also makes sense. It's moved up a half run. Eric Jones liking the under here. Jay Peasy says tempted to take the Dodgers again, too. They owe me a win from last week. Shout out to Jay Peasy. By the way, Jose, can we get the new Jay Peasy lyrics? Let's lock that up. We got Jay Peasy dropping Pub Sports Radio freestyles for us, Pete, and their magic. We're going to get him in the booth here to rock with us. Okay, so there we have it. That's the odd situation. We have Swarmer going up against Roencey Contreras. Swarmer coming off a 6-4 loss at home to the Padres. He went 3 2/3, 4 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 homer, 4 Ks, and 5 walks. Didn't look very good. 5.23 ERA, 1.26 whip on the season for the Cubbies. And Contreras coming off a tough start for him. He's been very good this year, but it was a 6-4 win still at the Cardinals. He went 4 1/3, 6 hits, 4 runs, 3 of which were earned, 1 homer and 2 Ks, 3.06 ERA, 1.30 whip on the year. Cubs hitting 241, 698 OPS versus righties. Pirates are worse, 221, 651 OPS. Cubs bullpen atrocious, 4.78 ERA, 1.36 whip, and they got off to a good start this year. That's how bad they are now. Pirates bullpen better, 4.14 ERA, 1.33 whip. Here, and then Mark Schellenberg says, how does Cruz follow up that gem of a start to his major league season? Clear the deck, cannonball coming, Cruz home run today. God, he looks wild at 6'7", shortstop. I mean, he can play everywhere. Take it away here, Pete. Cubs, Pirates.
Yeah, well, first of all, I don't know if you remember, but we talked about the Pirates a little bit. I think it was either last week or 2 weeks ago, Jimmy the Bag, you remember? And I said they got a lot of young guys. Remember I said that?
Yep.
And that has certainly, and we've seen that recently. This is a team with some life to them. So I'm not sure, how quickly the cat will get out of the bag for that one, and the value will evaporate. My numbers when the lines came out liked the under, but it felt fishy to me. I didn't pull the trigger on it, and of course, as you said, now it's gotten bet up. Both Swarmer and Contreras are coming off of a couple of, sort of subpar appearances, but before that have been pretty decent. Swarmer's last 2 appearances were both tough and a little bit quote unquote forgivable, especially, for a youngster like him. So I'm going to pass on this one for now, but I might look into it closer to first pitch, and slight chance I might take a shot with maybe Pittsburgh. I like Contreras in general, and especially in this spot here. Maybe Cubs team total under. That's how I'm feeling, Jimmy the Bag. But yeah, basically my numbers like the under when the lines came out. I didn't pull the trigger. Made me feel nervous. Now that we've seen the line movement, I feel good that I didn't pull the trigger on it, and not sure if I will at all. But yeah, Pittsburgh is a very interesting team right now. Don't quite want to take them here as this big of a favorite, though.
Yeah, I missed the opportunity to take them this 30-cent move in their favor. DC says Pirates are 4-1 in their last 5 home games versus right-handed starter. Cubs are 0-5 in their last 5 road games versus a right-handed starter.
I mean, normally, if this was like, the Yankees or Toronto coming off a 12-1 win, I'd be like, I don't know if I want to take it. But Pittsburgh, as I said, is filled with all these like friggin' youngsters, real kids filled with piss and vinegar and all the cliches that everyone talks about when they talk about eager young kids. That's what Pittsburgh is right now. So a 12-1 win probably means nothing to them. They're like, let's do it again.
Yeah.
They're all the first time now,
Jake Burns going right back to the alternate run line well with these Pittsburgh Pirates. Coin says that Pitt over 8.5 minus 120. Nice job. Got in last night. Attaboy. No move for either of us at this point in Cubs, Pirates, and Jose.
But I would love to take Pittsburgh -1. I'm not going to do it. I just want to go on record. I would love to put that out there, but I'm not going to.
And you're not going to because of the price?
Yeah, because, it's still, you're still, basically.
And Ixnizzle is on that under 9.5 in Dodgers Reds. Jose hit us one time with the newest lyrics from our man Jay Peasy, The Truth. Oh, we don't have volume. All right, we'll get that going here.
Hell yeah. You're watching Pub Sports Radio. Loshak in the Bag. Tuesday, June 20th.
Get that right for us. We'll get that right for us. Okay, if we'll do. Okay, here we go.
Low back, I'm not ashamed to say it. I say a plus money bet, never hate to play it. This all day, so fuck a parlay. No, I do that shit too. You the party day. Trying to get this money, staying fresh like Dutch. Hit a live bet, total that's so damn much. That was here from Parksdale. Where the fuck is that? I don't know what's that. From what's supposed to be at. Boston to Philly, Cleveland to Bay. Hell, let me hit the bookies and proceed to that shit. KC, we hit the spreadsheet. Hit up to Detroit, let the team speak. Can't forget that the stakes is high with some low baggers. Let's ride. There's LJ, there's Big Boss, there's Preston, there's Turnsey, there's Millsy, there's I can't name everybody, man. We too much because we be pubbing. Next team made. All y'all motherfuckers, man.
Very, very nice. Love it.
Yeah,
Fucking love it. Hell
That's
yeah.
number 2. That is number 2 from us, from our guy Jay Peasy. Man, it's real and it's nice, and we're gonna get him in the booth. All right, let's keep rolling. Next up, 7:05 p.m. Eastern, Washington Nationals 24-46, 12-20 on the road at the Baltimore Orioles. 30-38, 17-16 at home. We're at Camden Yards in Baltimore, Maryland. So I was expecting that Lyles was going to pitch here. He hasn't pitched in 7 days. He was bumped a couple days ago because of a stomach virus, and I'm not sure if that is being confirmed. Let's see if they have a pitch. So we don't have that confirmed. I don't know if anybody does have it confirmed. Please let us know if it will be Lyles going up against Eric Fetty, who I know Viper wants to fade. Top set saying bum fight. Roger that said it is. Is it fade Fetty day? It is for Viper NB. Every day Fetty starts is a fade Fetty day for my man Vipe. Fetty 4-5, 4.88 ERA, 1.56 WHIP, 62 2/3, 51 Ks, 31 walks, 7 home runs. In his last start, he went 5 1/3, 7 hits, 3 earned runs, 4 Ks, 3 walks, and 8-2 loss at home versus the Braves. That wasn't on him. He pitched fine. If it is Lyles, he's coming off an ugly start in a 6-5 win at the Blue Jays. 5 1/3, 5 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 homer, 7 Ks, 2 walks, 5.10 ERA, 1.52 WHIP. He's not been good this year. He's not a good pitcher, but he's somebody who we've watched shut down the Yankees. I mean, he messes with me. He just messes with me. Fireside says Orioles low-key playing decent recently. They have a great bullpen, 3.19 ERA, 1.24 WHIP. Much better bullpen than the Nats. The O's rating just 229, 678 OPS versus righties. They have a lot of young talent in this lineup. We're expecting that number to increase. The Nats rating 250, 696 OPS versus righties. Let's move over to the weather, and then we'll go through the line history and all that. Good stuff. 82 Fahrenheit in Charm City, 6.5 miles per hour to left field. Stays around there all game long. Move over to the line history in this Orioles spot. No movement. Opened up at plus 120, and that's where they stand. That's at plus 120. Hard to imagine that the Orioles minus 140. Puzzler says 2 extra days rest for Lyles could throw him off, but he had a stomach virus. So clearly his routine is off, but I don't know how much it would mess with him. Total 9.5, minus 120 to the over, no movement. And there won't be many tickets in at this point because we didn't know who was going to be pitching. Just 542 tickets. So all we know is the money's all coming in on Baltimore, but very small sample size and the over. Take it away here, Pete. Nats, Orioles.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still not seeing a line at Heritage, although I am seeing a line at Pinnacle now. So it is Lyles.
I assume it is, but I don't know if we. Oh yeah, it's got Wallaby has Lyles written in his book. I've still got no pitcher written in.
Yeah. Well, my first note on this game was obviously, Baltimore team total overs first 5 in full game. It's only 4.5 minus 128 at Pinnacle right now. Fetty just kind of no brainerish. Fetty kind of vulnerable. Baltimore should get to him a bit. I don't know if I want to pull the trigger on that. Maybe Baltimore -1 would be a little bit of a better bet. And probably if I was going to take a fade of Fetty, I'd probably prefer the first 5 because if the first 5 team total over doesn't cash, I wouldn't want to be in a position where I'm hoping for runs late at this ballpark right now. So I'm not seeing a first 5 team total yet at Heritage, but I'd definitely be leaning that way and leaning Baltimore.
Yeah, I get it, but maybe focusing on the team total is the best way to do it. Let's just see what I would get here. Full game, very juiced 4.5. I'd have to turn that into a 5 so that it's not that expensive.
You know what? And I am seeing a Pinnacle 2.5 minus 119. We can do that. We can do Baltimore first 5 team total over 2.5 minus 119 official.
Orioles first 5 team total over 2.5 at minus 119.
Kind of no brainer right there.
Joey Marinaccio liking the Orioles in this spot. D. Jenkins says Orioles are 2-1 as a home fave this year. That was the question asked by Danny Lopez. What's the Orioles record as a fave? As a home fave, 2-1. Tom Leach has no idea with this game. It's a pass for him. Fireside says may ladder it. May ladder it. Moose Money says Fedde could throw 7 shutout innings or give up 7 in the first.
Yeah, he certainly could. He's one of those guys who's like usually vulnerable, but once every 5 games has a shutout start against a tough lineup, and you're like, where did that come from?
Huh. I wonder
if other 4 he's given up 3 or 4 and getting knocked around a bit.
First 5 overs up to 5.5. Don't like those, but kind of like it here. What are your thoughts on Jordan Lyles moving forward?
He is what he is. I haven't looked into it in depth enough to give a super educated opinion on it right now. But yeah, I mean, in general, he's kind of similar to Fedde. You know what I mean? I'm happy to bet on him if I need to. Also happy to fade in spots as well.
Ronnie and Burgess have been feasting on the Orioles plus 1.5 for over a week, getting a great price. All right, Pete's locked in the first 5 team total over 2.5 minus 119. I have some interest in this first 5 over, but I'm going to add question marks to it. Lucas Ryan loving the over here. All right, let's move on. 7:10 p.m. Eastern. Detroit Tigers at Boston Red Sox. We're at Fenway in Boston. See what we're talking about from a weather perspective. We have 68 Fahrenheit chilly in Boston. 10.3 miles per hour right to left. It's slightly out after an hour or so. At first pitch, it's pretty much just right to left, but then it's slightly out to the left field pole for the rest of the game. Dies down to 8.2 miles per hour. Let's see what we are talking for the line history in this one. Brisky Hill. You have the Tigers opening up at plus 167 dogs. Now they're plus 170. A very little movement. An 8-cent move to the Red Sox. From a total perspective, it opened up at 9.5 and only lasted there for 10 minutes. It was juiced to the under, heavy. And 10 minutes later, it's a 9. And then at 4:25 a.m., it goes back to a 9.5. And it's not quite as badly juiced to the under, minus 120 to the under. Now let's take a look. And this is the only spot on the entire board where there's some perceived line value. And it's with the Tigers and Brisky. Bo Brisky, 7,225 tickets in. 9% of the tickets on Detroit. 25% of the cash. 61% of tickets on the over and 90% of the cash on the over. D. Jenkins says Tigers good average versus lefties, but bottom in all other categories. Yeah, 259 average. And if you think about the last few years, they've hit lefties really well. So it's a surprise a bit that their OPS would be 667 against lefties. Red Sox 257, 727 OPS versus righties. Tigers bullpen been very good all year, 3.19 ERA, 1.18 WHIP. Red Sox bullpen being better of late, and their middle a part of the bullpen being very good. It's their closing that's hurt them the most. Brisky coming off a 3-1 loss at home versus Texas. He looked great. 7 innings, 3 hits, no earned run, 6 Ks, 2 walks. Rich Hill, Dick Mountain coming off a 4-3 loss at home versus the A's where we all got paid. It was beautiful. Little, what's his name? Blackburn start for the A's. 5 2/3, 7 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned, 4 Ks, no walks, and a 4-3 loss at home versus the A's. And he's got a 4.42 ERA, 1.22 WHIP on the year. John Todd says Hill is not a minus 200. Billy Friedrich says Brisky's road splits are not great. ERA nearly 5. Take it away here. And there's our guy, JPZ in the house. Take it away here. Pistol Pete, Loshak, Tigers, Red Sox.
Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed. I haven't bet this one yet, and my first thought, my note on this is probably pass, but I wouldn't be opposed to taking, Detroit first 3 or first 5. Brisky is when he was getting hit earlier, there was some indication that he might be someone who would do a little bit better. He was giving up kind of a high percentage of home runs, for the number of fly balls that he was giving up. And that is something that in general tends to even out. So we expected his home run numbers, his home run percentage to go down a little bit and for his overall results to be better. And that did happen. Rich Hill, Detroit has a bunch of righties in their lineup, a weak lineup, but a bunch of righties similar to Oakland. And Oakland got to him his last start. It's entirely possible that I'll be on Detroit here first 5 or first 3 or both by first pitch. And it's entirely possible that before we move on to the next game, I'll make one of those official. That's what I'm thinking here, Jimmy the Bag.
Why would you want to I can almost answer this, but
Mhm.
why would you want to focus on the first 5 and not the full game when we know the Tigers have a bullpen advantage? Is it because the Red Sox have a lineup advantage?
Yes, that is part of it. The bullpen is not what I would statistically factor. Yeah, it's the lineup advantage and also the starting pitching advantage.
Yeah. So we have Brisky but the Red Sox lineup advantage supersedes the Tigers' slight bullpen advantage.
Yes, of course, by a mile. I mean, Detroit is an embarrassing offensive team in general. But yeah, and in fact, my numbers indicate that first 3 would have a lot more value than first 5, even there. So,
interesting.
Yeah.
Billy Friedrich, first 5 and full game over. Moose Bunny says Brisky's still a fade for me. Yeah, I wouldn't mind just taking a quick look at Brisky's last few road starts here. Let's go to a game log here with good old Bo Brisky. And Bo's the 27th round pick. He's not part of this young nucleus of starters that were all number 1 draft picks.
Yeah.
But he's been pitching well. Let's see. He hasn't allowed a run in his last 2 starts, both at home. Then he went into New York 3 starts back and was excellent. That's a hard place to pitch. And he was very good against the Twins. So he got roughed up against the Rays. And then even his first road start against the Dodgers, he was good.
Yeah, I mean, he was giving up a lot of home runs. And, it's not great that he's going up against Boston here. But, again, at the big dog line, my numbers indicate a little bit of value on that side, Detroit.
I'm interested. So my first 5 is at plus 165.
Yeah,
if we go down to just the first 3, plus 145.
Yeah.
I'm interested. Tigers, first 3. I'm very interested. Okay, so no move for you at this point, Pete.
I guess not.
We move on to 7:10 p.m. Eastern. AOD, get it in ya, my man. A lot of guys on the Boston Red Sox run line here. Nathan Cerner saying Bresky been playing above his pay grade lately. He should regress and get shelled. But he's been doing this for a long time now. And look at the lineups he's shutting down: Blue Jays, Yankees, Twins.
Yeah, I think he was pitching. He was due for positive regression from what he did earlier in the year, and then if you just look at his last 2 games, obviously he's due for negative regression going forward, but still serviceable.
Yeah. Okay, let's keep rolling. Next up, 7:10 p.m. Eastern, New York Yankees 50-17, 21-10 on the road at the Tampa Bay Rays, 36-31, 21-14 at home. We're at Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida. A couple lefties on the hill. Is it Fleming pitching his first start since May 6th?
I don't know. When we started this video, I had no pitcher or line for this game.
Yeah, I've had a line for a while, and I believe it is.
Yeah, never seen.
John Todd giving me confidence with that last spot. I do think that I like it. Billy Friedrich says, and Hill has faced Oakland, Baltimore, Seattle in his last 3 home starts, which were disastrous. I think I'm comfortable with the risk reward. I'm comfortable with the implied probability. I'm comfortable with everything. The only thing I'm uncomfortable with was that, and this is not to push you into it, was that you decided not to pull the trigger at the end of the breakdown.
Yeah, it's just, Boston has a fearsome lineup, and Bresky is, mediocre at best overall in general.
Nate Cerna says everyone and their mother is on Boston today. All right, let's talk. I think it's Fleming.
Yeah,
I believe that Fleming's coming off the IL. He hasn't pitched since May 6th. Going up against Nestor Cortez, who had to bounce back in his last start, but it was at these very Rays. 4-3 win at home, went 5 1/3, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 4 Ks, 3 walks. Fleming looked awful. But I believe, don't quote me on this, I believe his last start was good. Wasn't it his lone good start here? I'm going to pull it up, but I thought I remember seeing that his last start before he left was his first good start of the year, but I'll double check that. Yankees versus lefties, 239, 758 OPS. Rays versus lefties, 251, 683 OPS. Another team that hits lefties with a decent average, but with no power. Both bullpens are very good. Let's see if there's any line history here. There may not be any. There's not. Opened up at, yeah, you're right. Opened up an hour and 20 minutes ago here. So there's probably not very much cash in. Actually, there's 1,714 tickets in. It's all Yankees cash, 95% money line, 95% tickets, 57% tickets are on the over. We don't have a cash amount there. Take it away here, Pete. Yankees, Tampa Bay Rays.
Yeah, I mean, Tampa Bay is scuffling right now. I mean, usually they're a juggernaut with their analytics, but they got so many injuries, and they just don't really have the personnel right now. And Fleming, yeah, I mean, this was it's just maybe it's too obvious, or maybe it's a don't overthink it situation. But I mean, the Yankees are obviously the play here. Cortez, may be vulnerable in spots going forward, but it looks like another just obvious Yankees play here. First 5, full game -1. Haven't pulled the trigger on either of them yet, but it just looks super obvious.
Billy Friedrich Nestor's 2 starts for Tampa this season, 13 1/3, 2 earned runs. Let me grab. Do you think that, were you surprised this line opened with the Yankees -170, or you think that's right where it should be?
No, that's where I would have assumed that it would open, thinking that it would eventually get bet up by close. Yeah.
Let's just take a quick look here very quickly at Fleming, and then we will move on here. So what is keeping you off backing them then at this point?
Some slightly troubling signs with Cortez coming back down to earth recently, and also the Rays are a team that you even in this condition, you want to be very, very careful about betting against them as a big home underdog. If they were going up against, I don't know, one of these lights out guys, then no problem. But Cortez slumping a little bit recently. Again, as you said, last start against Tampa Bay. A lot of fly balls. He gave up some walks. Those aren't good signs. So, those are all the reasons why.
And Fleming did not have a good start. I don't know who I was thinking of. There's another pitcher here who's been lackluster, but coming off a good start. He just went 2 2/3 before he hit the IL. So he hasn't pitched since May 6th.
Actually, just ran some shit. It indicates value at the over. I do not agree with that, but that's what the shit that I ran said. At 7. It says value with over 7. I'm not going to pull the trigger on that, at least not right now.
No, I get that. So it was a right calf strain that put. Oh no, sorry, that's fucking 2021. The hell? What did he? Did they? It was some. He went down onto the. No, they just sent him down to the minors. They demoted him. That's interesting. Sorry, I thought that might be a injury thing, but no, they just demoted him. Just let me just do one thing here.
Sure. You're watching Pub Sports Radio. This is the Loshak in the Bag show. He's Jimmy the Bag. I'm Peter Loshak. On the ones and twos, we got Jose Bouquet, of course. And we're breaking down MLB for you here on this Tuesday, June 21st, 2022.
He went down to Durham, and he started 6 games, and he was incredible. Now, look, I know that's not, but he went down. He went 6-0 in 6 starts, with a 0.98 ERA, a 1.09 WHIP. He struck out 31 and walked 4. He allowed 1 home run and 4 earned runs in 36 innings.
Yeah, and if there's any team that historically gets guys right, it's Tampa Bay, obviously. So,
And sometimes when you go down, especially a guy who's like 26 years old, and you realize, God, I got to step up here so I can stay in the show. Puzzler says Roto thinks Ralph Garza is a possible starter tonight. Dabby Cabs wanting you on the Daily Sesh. We shall see. Okay. So all that being said, I want to know if Fleming starts. And look, that doesn't mean I'm going to back the Rays here, but I'm very interested to see if Fleming starts. Look, those numbers that's an important note to see him go down and be absolutely spectacular.
Yeah, not a shock with a Tampa Bay Rays youngster.
Okay, so no moves for either of us there. Let's move on to 7:20 p.m. Eastern. San Francisco Giants 37-29, 18-15 on the road at the Atlanta Braves, 39-29, 21-14 at home. We're at Truist Park in Atlanta, Georgia, and we have a special guest for this very game. Let's just set a quick table for everybody before we do the breakdown. And I won't do a full breakdown, but I will set a table for the line history and the weather. First off, we have a 10-cent move to the Braves, minus 165 to minus 175, and a 10-cent move to the under. Let's see if that all follows suit here with the cash. 4,905 tickets in. 83% of tickets, 84% of cash on the Braves. So surprising that it's not a bigger move. 59% of the tickets, but 88% of cash on the under. I guess that is because of the question marks around DeSclafani's start here. So let's just take one quick look at the weather in Atlanta. 93 Fahrenheit, 7.3 miles per hour at straightaway center, becomes 5.6 miles per hour. We have DeSclafani and Spencer Strider and our special guest, star of Say Hey Plays, joining us right now. It's nice to see him back on the screen. Please welcome Mr. Jose Zenyatta Bouquet. Jose, how are you?
I'm all right. Pretty hectic weekend, I'll be honest. Really hectic weekend. Got stranded in Austin a little bit. Had some car trouble.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, my car almost blew up. That was interesting.
Oh, no.
But yeah, we made it out. We made it out alive. I thought for a hot second that I would miss a Say Hey Plays, but we persevere. And I will say a little note here. I've had probably the least amount of prep for the last 3 or 4 days I've ever done it for the shows. Like, I didn't even write any notes down. Came in there blind. Had 3 pretty successful days. Yesterday was kind of a mad day, going 1 and 2. But since the 16th, up 3.2 units. So not bad. Not bad at all.
That is not bad. And can I ask, what's the overall record at right now?
We're at 220 and 214, up 9.83 units. So you have not caught me yet, Jimmy. You have not caught me yet.
I am not trying to catch you, and I truly, truly mean that. I want you to succeed, and I want to succeed myself. So I'm not. It's non-issue to me. There's no competition. I want my friends to succeed. The more your friends succeed, the better chance you have of success. When your friends are all losers, well, guess what? You're a loser too. Let's talk about DeSclafani and Strider here. And also, who's your special guest on today's show?
Bobano. Bobano's back.
Nice.
Yes, he's coming on every Tuesday because Thursdays are days with not a lot of baseball, we've learned. So Bobano joining us every Tuesday now. So I love that.
Well, let's talk DeSclafani. A lot of question marks on what he's going to give here. 13 1/3 on the season. Take it away. What's your plan here to stash Spencer Strider and Anthony DeSclafani? Take it away.
I said this early in the year, and it's kind of worked to varying degrees. I'm going to fade the guys that the Giants have taken in their first year. They kind of shook them up and made them become good. And I'm going to fade them their second year. And I'm also kind of a fan of fading guys coming off the IL, COVID IL, whatever IL. And that's what Disco is. He's coming off the 60-day IL with an ankle injury. First start of the year. His last AAA start, his last rehab start, he only had 2, which is kind of surprising. But his 2 were 2.2 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs, 3 of them earned, 2 Ks, 3 walks was his last one. Like, all right, I don't know about that. And then his first one was 3 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, 3 Ks, no walks. So he had a good one there. But I just think Spencer Strider, honestly, is the better pitcher here. I've got the better pitcher, starting pitcher. I've got, I think, a better lineup in their home ballpark. I took them first 5 minus a half, minus 120. 6 are the Atlanta Braves against righties, 127 weighted runs created plus. And I think have not been consciously doing it, but kind of been betting the Braves a lot recently. I took their team total over yesterday. I lost that one. They won the game 2-1, I believe the final score was, but it wasn't even my favorite play either. But I like the Braves here today, and I obviously think they're a bet on team.
Bet on team, liking the Braves. I'll ask how you want to bet it here, but let's listen to Mr. Pete Loshak and his thoughts on this DeSclafani-Strider situation.
Yeah, I mean, this is obviously just all about what to expect from DeSclafani. And when he's on his game, don't forget, you remember he was somewhat close to lights out when he was at his peak. Yeah, sure, the rehab starts, I guess, are not encouraging, but you really want to take that with a grain of salt. But again, yeah, for sure, having only it's actually more concerning to me that he only made 2 starts than how they went. You know what I mean? So I would. Haven't pulled the trigger on it yet. Strider's been pitching great, a ton of Ks, but high pitch counts. The strikeout to walk ratio is awesome. That's probably I don't know how long that can last. I haven't bet it yet. Probably by first pitch I'll have a bet, and it probably will be in one way or another on Atlanta. I think a fade of DeSclafani is warranted here. Although if he comes in and throws 6 shutout innings, it would not be a shock at all. But betting that doesn't happen is probably even at a favorite line is probably decent.
I will say this: Jack Flaherty did the same thing.
I was just gonna say, see, mediocre minds think alike, Jose. I was just gonna talk. I was talking about Jack Flaherty. He had lights out rehab starts. Came in, didn't really matter in his first start.
It was only 2, and I remember reading that day. He was like, yeah. He basically was like, this is too easy. I want to step up my intensity rather than the workload. And I was like, okay, sure. Of course, I bet on him, and I'm a fucking schmuck. I lost that day.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's exactly what I'm doing here. Learning from our mistakes, Peter.
Absolutely. Mediocre minds think alike. And yeah, again, it's the number of rehab starts is actually more important to me than how they actually went, for sure.
Yeah. Pete, there was a time, and I don't want to quote or unquote, but when the pitcher is on the DL for a non-arm injury, talk to us about angles that you like.
It depends on which pitcher it is, what time of the season it is, how good or shitty the pitcher was to begin with. But yeah, in general, a pitcher who has who's a non-arm injury where he's getting sort of some unintended rest on his elbow and shoulder and everything can sometimes come back and be a very positive thing. To go on the DL for a non-shoulder injury. And that's not a hard and fast rule, but definitely something I keep in my mind for sure.
So he only threw 2 2/3 in his last rehab start. He's coming off an ankle injury. This Giants bullpen fell completely apart. It seems like it's coming back together a little bit. Are they better than the 4.06 ERA, 1.30 WHIP that's indicated? Because they got off to a great start to the year. They completely fell apart. And it looks like this is going to turn into a bullpen day, most likely.
Mm-hmm. Which bullpen? I actually haven't updated my bullpen numbers recently, but I can do it for you right now. Jimmy the Bag, which team are you asking about?
Well, you nailed the Padres being better than their numbers indicated, and I wonder where the Giants stand here.
Okay.
Anthony was getting hit by bad teams hard last season. Not much has changed, and the Braves are hitting. So let me ask you this. Jose, how do you want to bet the Braves today?
I'm on first 5 -0.5. I got it minus 120 on Bovada. I haven't tweeted any of these out yet, so you're more than welcome to line shop and such. But it's funny. I was looking at the next game on the slate here too, and I'm basically the same exact cap for the both games that I've moved on with the same exact bets with 2 pitchers I very much enjoy. So it's very funny actually.
Well, why don't you stick around for the next game then as we break that one down? Let's see if I can beat that first 5 -0.5. I imagine that we will be able to here at Pinnacle. The first 5 -0.5. No, minus 126 over here.
So you're asking about the Giants bullpen, Jimmy the Bag?
Yes.
I would put them maybe bottom 10 actually. Not too high on it.
They are that bad. First 5 -0.5, minus 114 at Bookmaker. Thank you for that, Billy. That's great. So Pinnacle not wanting you to make that bet. This is becoming more and more appealing here. Jose, why are you taking just first 5 and not full game when we know the Braves bullpen's being lights out?
I think it's just a price thing. Let me double check here. We're looking for Los Braves. Yeah, minus 175. It's just a price thing at the end of the day.
And so a lot of people
Maybe
don't
you can
like
get
the minus one line on home teams, whereas I'm the opposite. I like the minus one line on home teams because you get a lot better number because of the possibility of them only getting 8 at bats. So Julian Cesare says, I've learned on the show not to take minus 1.5 on the home teams. That's still a thing. The 1.5 is different than the -1. Why don't you answer that question, Pete? Julian said, I've learned on the show not to take minus 1.5 at home. Is that still a thing?
Yeah, I mean, in general, the books overall price, buying and selling of runs appropriately, but they don't really factor in volatility as much as they could or should or might in the future. So in general, yeah, you're just when you're buying and selling runs, you're just betting on volatility. If you're taking a big dog line, you're betting on higher than average volatility. If you're taking a big favorite line, you're betting on lower than average volatility relative to how the books would price it. So yeah, it's long term, it probably comes out even whether you take a -1 or a -1.5. But for your emotional well-being day by day, it's always tough to take a -1.5 on a home team. They win by 1 and you lose your bet. So yeah, psychologically, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, Mike, I'm saying, can you give a quick reason why you said the books don't want you to bet it, or I guess Pinnacle doesn't want you to bet it? Well, one thing that we've noticed, and we've talked quite a lot with Pete about, and Pete was the first one to say, when I would say, oh, Pinnacle's giving you the best number on this, he would be concerned.
That's not, yeah, that's not good.
And here we have Pinnacle giving you by far the worst number, and that is a great sign. Do you want to add to that, Pete, or explain that a little better than I just did?
No, you pretty much explained it. Yeah, I mean, it used to be a lot more stark, although I don't know. There's still some square books that lag behind the sharp books. But yeah, it's just like Pinnacle makes money too, and they make money by if you're betting into Pinnacle lines, you're probably betting into very sharp lines. Of course, you want to be betting into less sharp lines if you can, which does not mean at all that Pinnacle lines can't have value. Of course, they often do. But yeah, in general, if Pinnacle is giving the best line, that's not as good as if you're beating a Pinnacle line.
Yeah. And here, I rarely see Pinnacle giving the worst line. Very rarely. And they're giving the worst line of any book available right now. So the Braves appeal to me. Say Hey has moved on the Braves first 5 -1/2. I think I'm going to join in saying that. Pete, are you going to move on Giants Braves? And if so, why not?
I'll take Braves -1, -121. That's the line of Pinnacle. I'll take that. -1, -121.
Solidarity.
Wow, Braves -1 to -121, and the Braves full game -1's -145 at bookmaker. That's crazy, Billy, that it's -145 at bookmaker, because I could even get a nice number here. Let's just see what I would get at Bet365, which is known for trash numbers.
And by the way, while you do that, I will mention that Mike, or I should say Nutflush Allen, mentioned that he's had a lot of success going from run lines and puck lines to team totals. I looked at the team total as well as a 5 for me, I think. And the 4.5 was a little bit too juicy. But I also don't hate that, Nutflush Allen. So I agree with you. I would rather, in this instance, take a first 5 team total if you got it. I think it was 2.5 at -125. I just think Disco struggles here is my main concern here. So I would target Disco. And they're like you guys mentioned, the Giants bullpen just picked up its shit.
I like it. What were you going to say, Pete?
No, I didn't say anything.
I like it. I'm going to roll with you guys. I think I'm going to jump on both here. My -1 is -175 on the money line, plus 110 on the run line, which equals a -131 on the -1 line, and I'm comfortable with that. A Braves team that seems like it's, it fixed their bad start. All right, John Todd saying, give me over 1.5 home runs. John, and I love having you in the chat, John. One of our guys, Deacon Mike, that was his go-to bet, was betting home runs, and they took it from him. The bet. And he was cashing. It's not available to Bovada anymore. Where are you betting it? because he's been on the search for that prop. So if you could let me know what book is available, you will have a very happy man in our Deacon Mike. Okay, a lot of action there, and we're going to keep Jose around for this one. Ah, yes, Savali. He's the one who's actually coming off. So this guy's been trash all year. 7.84 ERA, 1.52 whip. But before he got hurt, it was his first good start of the season. 6 1/3, 3 hits, 1 run at Golden Moon Casino.
Wow.
Golden Moon Casino. Well,
It's a nice name.
Yes.
Golden
Yes.
Moon.
Okay, let me just
The
put that
moon.
in here. Okay, Savali versus Joe Ryan. Savali's last start May 20th. So I'm looking forward to hear the breakdown here because I thought that it was very interesting that he went down after a great start. Joe Ryan, on the other hand, starting to look a little bit more vulnerable. 5-3, 2.81 ERA, 1.02 WHIP, 45 Ks in 48 innings, 15 walks, 5 runs allowed. In his last start, he went 4 2/3, allowed 5 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 homers, 3 Ks and 1 walk. The Guardians get a ton of contact against righties, 255, 721 OPS. And Twins hit righties well, 254, 744 OPS. Guardians bullpen so good, 2.81 ERA, 1.09 WHIP. Twins bullpen 3.87 ERA, 1.27 WHIP. Let's start with the weather in Minnesota. 87 Fahrenheit and heavy out. 15.1 miles per hour out to right center. Dies down to 13.4. Let's move over to the line history in this Twins tribe spot. We have the Twinkies opening up minus 165 is where they stand now. So no movement there. There was a 10-cent move, came back. This total opened up at 9.5 and has dropped to 9. It didn't drop till 9 this morning. So let's take a look at the cash in this one here. Oh, we didn't talk about the cash in that Brave spot. I apologize. So quickly on that Giants Brave spot, 70% of the tickets, 86% of cash on the Braves. Then 59% of tickets, 90% of cash on the under. 70% of tickets, 86% cash on the Braves. Sorry, let me just look at that line history one more time while it's just fresh in my head. Does that all work with a 10-cent move? Why is there only being a 10-cent move if all that money's on the Braves? That makes me a little nervous. And here in the Twin spot, we have 4,173 tickets in. 78% of the tickets, 94% of cash on the Twins. Very little movement. And a coin flip for the total. 60% of tickets on the over, 49% cash on the over. Looks like we have Say Hey Play of the Day number 2, Jose Bouquet, Guardians, Twins. What is it?
Like I said, it's essentially the same exact cap here. I think it was actually the very last Tuesday. It was us three on this show, and we talked about Logan Gilbert, Joe Ryan's first start after his COVID start. I took the first 5 over, and Joe Ryan basically cashed it on his own for me. It was a 3.5, I believe, and he gave up 4 runs, so it was great. But I think he bounces back here today. I will say it's a similar cap as in the last game. In this instance, Savali coming off an injury. I want to fade a pitcher coming off an injury. But I also would like to back a guy in his second start returning from whatever thing it is. I thought Ryan would be a little rusty, obviously, coming off of his COVID break that he was. And I think he comes out here and shows his shit again. I know the Guardians have been really good in the last couple of weeks. They've been, I don't know if breathing down the neck of the Red Sox is the thing, but I've kept aware of them in the wild card standings, and you guys will make fun of me that I'm thinking about the playoffs now, but whatever. They've been great this last couple of weeks. I respect the Guardians, but I think that Minnesota Twins, unfortunately for you, Jimmy, I think the Minnesota Twins might win this division. And I think they're a solid squad right now if they can keep everyone healthy, and that's obviously a big if with Buxton and Correa, but third against righties, 135 weighted runs created plus this month. The Guardians are 101. That's 14th. So I'll take the Minnesota Twins first 5 minus a half here in the first again, minus 120 again. It's just a very similar cap to the last game. I thought about a team total in this one too. It's at a 5. I don't really enjoy betting 5s. 4.5s are usually the sweet spot. Well, I should say 3.5s are usually the sweet spots, but 4.5 usually is kind of the limit there. It will take a higher number in certain cases with weather, Coors, all that good stuff. But I'm on first 5 minus a half here. I believe my guy Joe Ryan, future AL Rookie of the Year, hopefully.
Oh, hopefully. That'd be just nuts if that'd be a bigger score than the Scotty Barnes score. I bet less on it, but bigger number. Pete, talk to us. What do you think here? Savali, Joe Ryan.
Slightly below average minds think alike, and I'm pretty much in agreement with everything that Jose said. Minnesota first 5 team total over at 2.5 minus 120, kind of obvious. It's not a good spot for Savali. Probably a good spot for Ryan, better than his last spot. Cleveland, getting Reyes back and Ramirez back, that's nice. Long term, that's probably something very significant. But, in this spot, I would still rate Minnesota having a significantly better lineup. So we'll definitely make Minnesota a first 5 team total over 2.5 minus 120 at Heritage, an official play. And I'd be leaning Minnesota first 5 and full game as well.
Do we think Jose Ramirez is going to be in the lineup tonight?
And shout out to OG Wham. Shout out to Trot Wham. Hell yeah. What'd you say?
Man.
Ramirez? I saw maybe,
Okay, so sorry, Pete, Twins first 5 team total over 2.5.
Yeah.
At what juice?
Minus 120. Current line at Heritage. I just bet it, unless it moved, and I have noticed that a little bit with Heritage team totals.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. There's the nuke worker in the house. We love you, buddy. Great to see you. I says, really missed the show. Just no time now that I'm retired. No worries, man. It's summertime also. So enjoy the sunshine. You've earned all of this. You've earned it all. Nuke worker, my guy. DC says Guardians are 1-5 the last 6 games versus started with a whip less than 1.15. I like this. D. Jenkins says Twins first 5 over 2.5 minus 115. Twins good against righties. If they can't score against Savali, they won't score off their bullpen. And the Bovada first 5 over 2.5 minus 115 over at Bovada. So let's give you that. Thank you for line shopping for our man Pistol Pete Loshak. I want in. Jose. I like the. I don't know exactly what Savali is going to give us here. I don't think he's as bad as his yearly stats indicate, but I think the Joe Ryan take makes sense. Noli Knows says Ramirez will test the thumb before the game for a decision. Noli Knows will be our special guest MLB expert tomorrow, so join us for Noli Knows. Actually, we have Noli Knows on Wednesday, the Big Ragu on Thursday. Eric Jones liking the under. I like it. Puzzler says only straws hit Ryan well. I like it.
And actually, you know what? I'll double up. I'll take Minnesota first 5 minus 165. We can add that one up. I'll double up. What the hell?
Welcome to the bandwagon.
Twins first 5 minus 165. And is the reason why you're not taking the minus a half is because you believe there's low volatility in this start? Or this match?
No, the reason I'm not taking the minus a half is out of fear and just to be safe, out of cowardice. That's the main reason.
Cowardice.
I love
it. Jose, it is great to see you. Catch Say Hey plays today at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Special guest Babano in the house. And Jose with over 400 bets placed, still healthy in the black with a nice ROI. You've done great work, Jose. And this is a huge, huge, huge chunk for you. These few weeks here before the All-Star break is extremely important. And I believe in you. So go get that fucking cash and have a great show today, my friend. And great job producing as always.
Actually, huge shout out to John Todd, who says it's minus 160 at BetMGM. Shout out to you, John Todd. I'll take that line. Give me the bet.
Right. Thank you. I will leave you guys with this. A little tease. I think it's after the call-up of a certain power forward that's playing shortstop. I think it's time to ride my boys again. The Jolly Roger might be pulled out again. Guys, you guys know what we do when we pull out the Jolly Roger? We release it!
There it is right there. Looks like the Bucko is going to be back. He's probably going to take him on the -1 line at this point. But you'll have to tune in 5:30 p.m. Eastern for Say Hey Plays starring Babano. We move on. 8:05, and I'm in on that first 5 with you guys. We move on. 8:05 p.m. Eastern. Philadelphia Phillies only knows his 6'7" shortstop is crazy. Did you? God, it almost gives me goosebumps. He's got a look about him like he's got this intensity that I find extremely appealing from young athletes. Philadelphia Phillies 36-32, 17-15 on the road at the Texas Rangers. 31-35, 14-18 at home. Puzzler says Jose needs to see that scene from Deliverance. He probably doesn't know what movie we speak of, Deliverance.
Nope, haven't seen it.
All right, we're going to go back. Finally, we have a reason to go back to the movie night of the week to add to Jose's life. Deliverance. Jose, Deliverance, beautiful film for you and your girlfriend to watch.
Beautiful. I just texted her and told her just now, we're watching Deliverance tonight.
All right.
By the way,
All
you know
right.
another funny thing about this, shout out to Cruz for throwing the hardest ball across the diamond all year at 96.7 miles an hour. That would literally send me down a rabbit hole. But also shout out to Michael Chavis, the ice horse, for being 5'10", receiving balls from his 6'7" shortstop. So shout out to the Pirates.
Yeah, shout out to the Buccos. Billy Friedrich says Deliverance is a movie that will turn Jose into a man. I love it. We're back. We're back with you know what ruined it, Pete, and I probably should have seen this coming. It's my ignorance. But we were on a nice track, giving Jose movies to watch to make him more of a man, and then we gave him the Three Amigos, and I probably shouldn't give any Hispanic man a movie of three white guys.
It's different times, Jimmy. It's different times. Welcome to 2022. Things change. It's different times.
It was a mistake. Tom Lee says it's -1 a push if they only win by one. Yes, it's a push. If you build your own -1, of course, like when you send it in, if you send it into a local, you catch the money line, you lose the run line. So, which is a push. It's a push using the calculator to the right dollar. But yes, it was a mistake, an ignorance mistake. We fell off, but we're going to be right back. His girlfriend Helga did not receive the Three Amigos in a way that was appealing. She was nonplussed by the three.
Different times, Jimmy the Bag. A different era.
I just, you know what? I'll admit it's still not funny. I the other day, and I'm just like, still not funny. Still not funny. I love my man Jim Candy more than I like.
All right, come on, let's stop disrespecting him. Okay, he's the most important Canadian in the history of our country, and he calls him Jim Candy just to piss us all off. Okay, let's keep rolling. Saturated says, has he seen Strange Brew, the ultimate Canadian culture primer? Saturated, that's good. I'm gonna copy and paste it. We're back though. Deliverance will get us back on the right track. He still hasn't seen Kids. We still haven't even got him on the Kids.
Yeah,
which was the first movie I wanted him to see, but I lost all. Hopefully, Deliverance will get us back.
In 2022, Three Amigos isn't funny, but saying slightly below average minds think alike, that's funny in 2022, right?
Hilarious.
That's great.
We're locked in for Deliverance.
I still got it.
I was gonna watch Jackass 4, but Deliverance it is. Damn it.
Philadelphia Phillies at Texas Rangers. We're at Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. Roof will be closed, I imagine, with the scorching heat of Texas. Kyle Gibson, Martin Perez. Kyle Gibson, 4-2, 4.04 ERA, 1.22 WHIP, 71 in the third, 62 Ks, 20 walks, 7 home runs. In his last start, Kyle Gibson went 8 innings, 7 hits, 1 earned run, 1 homer, 6 Ks, no walks, in a 3-1 win at home versus the Marlins. The Marlins team that smashes righties. Johnny K says he can't handle kids. Of course he can handle. He'll handle kids fine. He'll handle kids just fine. Martin Perez, 4-2, 2.10 ERA, 1.11 WHIP, 81 in the third, 65 Ks, 18 walks, 2 home runs. We got to focus on baseball, but I heckled Casper, the outfielder of the Mariners, as if he was Casper from Friends for a full game, and it got great laughs. It got big laughs. Everyone loved it. I shouldn't say for a whole game. Say maybe for 3 or 4 innings at the end of the game. Okay, Martin Perez, last start, 7 innings, 8 hits, 1 earned run, 5 Ks, no walks, and a 3-1 win at Detroit. It was a nice bounce-back performance after he got touched up heavily by the White Sox. Now he faces another team that smashes lefties. John Todd says Phillies haven't lost 2 in a row yet. Obviously since the Girardi firing, I believe he's speaking of. Do y'all think it's time for it? Will the Phillies get to Perez just like the White Sox got to Perez? Rangers versus righties, 231, 654 OPS. Phillies smash lefties, as I said, 786 OPS. Phillies bullpen 4.22 ERA, 1.44 WHIP, and the Rangers bullpen has been a nice surprise for the ball club, being pretty good this year. 3.64 ERA, 1.23 WHIP. So let's go to the line history and where the cash lies, and then we will move on. Here we go. We have the Phillies opening up as minus 115 favorites. They became an even money, no vig plus 100 spot last night. Then this morning, 5-cent move back to them. So there's been, since the opening line, a 10-cent move towards the Rangers. From a total perspective, it opened up at 9, juice to the under. Within 39 minutes, went down to 8.5. And then this morning went down to 8. We are down a full run. Cameron Hurt says, don't trust Gibson. Let's take a look at where the cash is in this one. We have 5,649 tickets in, 39% of tickets, 59% of cash on Martin Perez and the Rangers. And note that rough start for Perez was at the White Sox. 47% of tickets, 87% cash on the under, and it's dropped a full run. Take it away now, Pete. Phillies, Rangers.
Yeah, it's this one. My numbers say Texas. It's a little bit concerning, though, that I use the same numbers everyone else uses. So I'm wondering, why. Hold on 1 second. Let me just pull up a page here. I'm wondering why the line is as low as it is. It's mind blowing that Martin Perez has one bad start in 15. And we're thinking, oh, my God, can we trust him anymore? Yeah, it's fucking major leagues. He gave up 12 hits in 5 innings. He got a little hit unlucky there, right? Probably. Still got the grounders. The strikeouts is not his forte anyway. It was an off start, but I certainly wouldn't say that now that one start, now he's the Martin Perez of old, and then he comes back next start against Detroit. It's fine. I don't see any reason to think that he won't continue to be good here. My numbers indicate value on Texas, but Sports Insights doesn't indicate value on Texas. The line hasn't really moved, has it, since opening? Not that much. So I don't know. I might give Texas anyway here. I'm a little bit confused by Gibson is okay. He's certainly reliable, but never lights out. Often gives up just 2, sometimes a few more. Philly has their issue. I give a slight bullpen edge to Texas. Philly has their issues in the field. And then it's just all about Martin Perez. If you assume that start against the White Sox was just a speed bump that you can toss, which I think you can, Texas at minus 115 or whatever has to have great value. But again, it hasn't moved. Why hasn't the line moved? Why isn't if there's so much value on Texas, why isn't Sports Insights that you're looking at there, Jimmy the Bag, saying value on Texas?
I don't know, but what I do know here from just looking at the market is that the immediate move last night, and the gamblers we believe who move when the line opens up are the sharper gamblers, was a 15-cent move towards the Texas Rangers.
Okay.
And then when I look, now it's come back 5 cents, but why wouldn't it? Phillies are sort of a public team since the firing of Girardi, and I see 39% of tickets on the Rangers and 61% of cash. You put that all together, it tells me that the Texas Rangers are the bet. So it's not a spot where I want a first 5 in full game. We agree the Rangers bullpen is stronger than the Phillies, but just by a little, in my opinion. So then should we just focus on the first 5 then?
No,
if it's just by a little, we know that the Phillies lineup is stronger than the Rangers lineup.
Yeah, I wouldn't even necessarily, because Harper's out, right?
No, Harper could be back.
Okay.
Harper could be back. Let me see if I can get another. Does anybody know if Harper will be back? I heard that. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just doing a little line chopping here. I'll take Texas officially. Current line at Heritage minus 113. I'll take it. Texas minus 113 money line.
John Todd says Harper out at the moment. Tom Max says blister is pretty nasty already. I heard it's nasty too, but I think. Okay, sorry. What did you take again? Sorry, Pete.
Minus 113.
Rangers full game.
Yeah.
I like it. Minus 112 was found by our guy Billy Friedrich.
Hell yeah.
Moose Money says Castellanos and Bohm, both good numbers versus Perez. Castellanos 324 versus lefties. Do we sort of put a line through the numbers that these guys have had versus Perez?
Of course.
So,
yeah.
Okay. All right. I think that I don't want to double up under any circumstances. And you prefer Rangers full game over the first 5, thinking that
I just also it's just that the Rangers also just kind of have some life to them when they're not hitting. They're like scrapping and pulling out runs and manufacturing runs even when they're not hitting. And Philly has issues defensively, so yeah, I'll just take full game.
I like it. I'm coming in. Water's nice. Markel leaning under in the Phillies game. Again, unfortunately, Markel, you just missed it. And you have to let it go. It opened at 9. It's dropped a full run at 8. So you just can't chase. If you miss it, let it go. Other spots on the board. Full card, we're attacking. All right, we move on to 8:10 p.m. and the New York Mets at Houston Astros. And a lot of our friends made money on the New York Mets yesterday, and they're going back to the well. One man who is not is our Ron Crawford, who's white hot with the spreadsheet plays of the day. Ron Crawford is on the Houston Astros. All right, let's get to work here. Mets, Astros, Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas. Trevor Williams, Jose Urquidy, roof closed, 100 Fahrenheit weather out there. Trevor Williams has been good this year, but maybe it's just the way the Mets have used him. Maybe it's Bucky Showalter knowing exactly how to use Trevor Williams because they're not, letting him throw 6 innings. It's always very short stints. And last out, 2 1/3, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 4 Ks, 2 walks. It was a 10-2 loss at home versus the Brewers, but it wasn't on him. Jose Urquidy has not looked good this year. 5-3, 4.99 ERA, 1.52 whip, 61 1/3, 47 Ks, 12 walks, 12 home runs allowed. His last start, 4-3 win at Texas, he was pretty good. 6 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 homer, 4 Ks, no walks. Johnny Cadillac says, like Astros, but once again, Mets got the hitters. All right. If Ron's play comes through, Mets 20-4 straight up after a loss. So Danny Lopez looking at Ron Crawford cashing with the Astros today and then betting the Mets tomorrow. Okay, so Urquidy coming off a decent start at the Rangers, quality start. Mets versus righties 268, 751 OPS. Astros versus righties 240, 734 OPS. Mets bullpen being good enough, 3.64 ERA, 1.24 whip. This Astros bullpen has been unbelievable of late. Now of a 2.59 ERA and a 1.10 whip. Let's take a look at the line history, where the cash lies, and then hand it over to Pistol Pete Loshak. Here we go. Houston, where the hell are you? God, why can't I find this one? What the hell's wrong with me? Of course, it's, I'm not going to blame myself. I'm going to blame... There it is. Before I lost it on them. I found it. My bad. Apologies here. Let's pull it up here. Williams, Urquidy. The Mets open up at plus 115. That's where they stand right now. No movement. From a total perspective, it opened at 9. Juice to the over at minus 125. It's now juiced to the under at minus 120. And when we look at the cash flow here, 5,775 tickets in. 59% of tickets, 58% of the cash on the Mets. 53% of tickets on the under, and they don't have the cash amount up. So take it away here, Pete. Mets, Astros.
Okay, yeah. I don't necessarily love to hear that Ron Crawford likes Houston. Urquidy, I think we talked about him a month ago or so, and I think I mentioned him as a guy that I was in general looking to fade, especially against quality lineups, and this is one of those spots. I think that guy McNeil for the Mets has a hamstring issue, so I'm not sure if he's going to be in. That's not a nice loss if he's out. But yeah, I was definitely thinking that at the very least the Mets, first 5 team total over or full game team total over at 4. might be worth a shot. Yeah, I mean the Astros bullpen has been awesome, and Trevor Williams, I think you nailed that one, Jimmy the Bag. His numbers overall are much better as a reliever than a starter. So yeah, it's uncertain. But then Houston has some injury issues as well, I believe. Right? It's not clear if Alvarez is going to be in. He's questionable, right? Diaz is questionable. Pena questionable. They got some injuries. I mean, that's a huge. If Alvarez isn't in, that's huge. I'm assuming that Ron Crawford factored that in. I don't know if his love of Houston here has anything to do with Alvarez being in or not, but that's a huge bat if he's out. So I don't know. Yeah, I'd be leaning. Probably going to wait for the lineups to show up, but leaning. Mets team total over, maybe first 5 team total over. If I can get 1.5, that'd be great. If not, 2.5, big plus money. That's what I'm thinking, Jim.
Yeah, this one makes me real nervous. Domi Gunrichi makes so much. He's having a great baseball season too, and you'll see him here on this show next week. He's on the Mets team total over 4.5 in the Mets first 5.
All right. So if you had to tail a play from Dom Ricci, or if you had to tail a spreadsheet play, which would you tail, Jim? No, you don't have to answer that. That's putting you on the spot. You don't have to. They're both great gappers. Yeah.
The whole thing makes me nervous. This game makes me nervous. The Mets coming in, switching cities makes me nervous. Waiting for Urquidy to start pitching a little bit better. Did he show a sign of that against Texas? I mean, this is a much tougher lineup. Billy Friedrich talking about Urquidy's numbers at home. We know that factored into the spreadsheet.
His numbers his numbers at home are better, but it's also, a small sample size. Not that it's not significant, but, and then his last home start was just another classic sort of start where he was vulnerable, gave up 3 or 4, however much it was. So, yeah, his numbers at home are better, and that I think is significant, but at the same time, we're not saying it's meaningful, but at the same time, it is a small sample size, and his vulnerability in general, based on my numbers, is more significant.
Huh. Yeah, I don't find clarity here. Do you agree with this market move from the over to the under full game?
Full game from the over to the under. No opinion on that one. My numbers really just said look at Mets team total overs.
There's going to be no move for me here. Game makes me feel very uncomfortable. Mike M says Houston 6 run line wins in a row at home versus the Mets. And Jay Peasy added that stat as well. And that also takes into consideration last year as well. And then Mets extended series to Monday. Travel to a rested Astros. Says give me Stros all day. Okay. DC said Mets are 1-5 last 6 road games versus right-handed starter. Nikolai Jubinski took Mets alternate run line, Yankees run line, beat cashing Mets, Yanks run line parlays. We don't know. Cashman talking about McNeil. I know that was a big part of the conversation in our baseball chat, whether McNeil was going to be in. Okay.
There, the Dom Ricci, Mets team total over and Mets first 5.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Well, he's having a hell of a year. Okay. Not for me. We'll see if Pete wants to add to it. But for now, we roll on. 8:10 p.m. Eastern. St. Louis Cardinals 38-31, 17-18 on the road at the Milwaukee Brewers, 39-30, 16-12 at home. We're at American Family Field in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Jack Flaherty going up against Chichi Gonzalez, making his first start with the Milwaukee Brewers. Chichi's had 2 starts for the Twins, right? It was the Twins, right? Am I tripping out?
Yeah.
Twins. He did not look good in either of them. 7 innings, 12 hits, 6 earned runs, 2 homers, 4 Ks, no walks. Jack Flaherty comes back off the IL. He looks lights out in his rehab starts, just dominating the opposition. Comes up and he gets touched. Goes 3 innings, 3 hits, 3 Ks, 2 walks, no home runs, and allows 2 runs. Cards are hitting 257, 12 OPS versus righties. The Brewers are hitting 237, 724 OPS versus righties, and I don't know how they're doing it. I really don't. For the life of me, I just don't. I look at their lineup at 1-9, it's a bunch of 220 hitters. Cards bullpen 3.85 ERA, 1.29 WHIP. Brewers bullpen 3.49 ERA, 1.19 WHIP, and it looks like they've taken the steps that we were waiting for them to show that they are, in fact, an elite bullpen. So we imagine that the roof will be open, which isn't as big of a deal as other spots that open up their roof. But let's talk about 90 Fahrenheit. Oh, it feels like 98. Maybe they don't. I guess they close it then. I'll have to double check that, but that's pretty humid there. I mean, it's 105. Feels like 105 at 5, 98 at first pitch, 13.5 miles per hour out to left field, and the wind's all over the place. It's windy and hot. I bet you they close it. I bet you the roof is closed. Here. So let's just, and then we'll see if the total tells us that the roof is closed here. So let's go over to the line history, and a 20-cent move towards the Milwaukee Brewers. They opened up at plus 130. They're now plus 110. And the total opened up at 9, a 5-cent move to the over. Billy Friedrich says that roof will be closed for sure. And then we look over at the cash here, and we have in this Brew Crew spot 4,198 tickets in, 33% of the tickets, 48% of the cash on Teece and the Brewers. Hard to believe. 51% tickets on the over. Take it away here, Pistol Pete, Cardinals, Brewers.
Yeah, all right. A lot of money's coming in on Milwaukee full game, but I'm just going to have to give St. Louis first 3 at minus 130 as an official play. Flaherty, we talked about that already. His rehab starts were great. His first start back was not good. This one could also be bad, but before when he was at his peak in the majors, when he was at his top form, he was an auto play on. It was a brief period of time, but he was you bet on every game of his first 5 innings and usually double up with the opposing team's first 5 team total under as well. And Chichi Gonzalez, it's 2022, so no, I'm not going to make any jokes or say anything funny. The guy's vulnerable. 3 innings. I will take St. Louis minus 130 first 3 as an official play.
I agree completely. Noli agrees as well. I disagree completely. You're getting I'm minus 155 for the first 3.
I'm seeing this at Will Hill.
Beautiful. Was it minus 130?
130, yep, for first 3. Yep.
That's a really nice price. I'm going to have to take the first 5 minus a half, but I will do that confidently.
Seems like we're all on the same thing today, guys.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
It's the same cap as earlier as well, so that'll be fun.
Second start for pitchers in the situation that perform well from our Noli knows. John Todd on the Brewers plus 115 full game. If Chichi's going to move over to the Brewers and, look, obviously his career's on the line, he can have a good start and still not catch this.
Yeah. I mean, any major league pitcher who throws, a solid 5-inning start, it's never a shock to me.
Saturated. Let's wait till he sees the movie first. Okay. I'm in. I'm in on the first 5 minus a half. I can't do the first 3, but I'm not. I can't do it. I can't. But I don't hate it, obviously. Wonder how much it would cost me. I mean, they're not even offering it to me. Alternate. Oh, no, they are. First alternate. Sorry, my bad. First 3 minus a half is plus 105. First 5 minus half is minus 120. I like both of those, to be honest with you.
St. Louis Cardinals?
Yeah.
You sure? I'm seeing first 3 at Will Hill minus a half plus 130.
Yeah. Well, then I shouldn't bet the first 3 minus half. I'm getting 25 cents worse than you. Don't worry. My NHL futures will be here shortly, and I will have Pinnacle. I'll put a couple K in there, and then we'll need to deal with this garbage. But Pinnacle doesn't offer first 3s. Is that right?
They do not, no.
Dommy Gun says, I had the Brewers first 5 and run line yesterday. I've been on them in one way or another every game after the Mets series. I can tell at Mets they were starting to hit, but Flaherty, one of my favorite pitchers, first 5 under 5. Okay.
And I wouldn't be opposed to the St. Louis first 5 team total over either.
Sorry, you want to add the first 5 team total over?
I might.
Okay.
Let's move on to keep a brisk pace. But let me, that is something that I'll certainly be on. And
8:10
yeah,
p.m. Eastern.
Okay, we can add that one on. First 5, 2.5 minus 121. That's the current line of Pinnacle. We can double up.
Okay,
St. Louis first 5, team total over 2.5 minus 121.
Minus 125?
121.
121. All right, you are in business. First 3 and first 5. Let's do it. We move on. Hoops 590 looking at tennis. He's on Harriet Dart at plus 112. He's a great tennis capper. And thank you for sharing that with us, Hoops 590. My guy, hope all's well with the new job. We imagine that's what's been keeping you. We've missed you, but always welcome you with open arms, my guy. We move on. 8:10 p.m. Eastern. Toronto Blue Jays 38 and 29, 17-15 on the road at Chicago White Sox 32 and 33, 14-17 at home. Guaranteed rate field in Chicago, Illinois. This bullpen's a real problem. Gaussman has not looked good of late. Hyunjin Ryu gone for the year. These guys, we need to make a trade, and let's not wait till the trade deadline. But that's fine. I'll just stay off. Teece has been very good of late. Gaussman has not looked good. Let's start with the weather here in Chi-Town. Get this up here. Sorry, got a lot of open up here. Here we go. 91 Fahrenheit. Feels like 97. 13.5 miles per hour out to the left field pole. Moves a little bit more into left field, but dies down to 10.7 miles per hour. So it's out to left. Let's move over to the line history in this White Sox Jays spot. Here we go. Toronto opening up at minus 125. Within 10 minutes, there was a 5-cent move towards them and then no movement. This total opened up at 8.5, jumped up to 9, back to 8.5. And then as of 9:35 this morning, the over started getting bet, and Bet365 moved it accordingly. It's now at 9, juice to the over. Go over to where the cash lies in this Jays White Sox spot. It's going to be a fun game tonight. 7,540 tickets in. 73% of tickets, 74% of cash on Gaussman and the Jays. 32% of tickets, 76% cash on the under. I think it's tricky to figure out when the pitcher is going to turn it around. Catching a falling knife here with Gaussman. Last start, 2 1/3, 7 hits, 7 runs, 5 earned. No homers, 3 Ks, 1 walk, and 10-2 loss at home versus the Orioles. Dylan Cease coming off a great start, 5-1 win at Detroit. He went 5 innings, 7 hits, 1 run, wasn't earned, 8 Ks, 1 walk. Blue Jays are hitting 250, 738 OPS versus righties. White Sox are hitting 241, 652 OPS versus righties. The number is improving slightly. Both bullpens have been poor. We expected the White Sox bullpen to be excellent. It's not being the case. Hoops 590 giving us a final score of 4-3. Dommy Gun Ricci says, my only loss yesterday was Toronto. Frustrating team after that comeback win Sunday. You can't go and lose the next one. And Dennis Garcia says, here, I'll help. Gaussman throws a gem today. Take it away, Pete. Jays, White Sox.
Yeah, this is a very interesting game. Overall on the year, believe it or not, Cease looks like he has better peripherals than Gaussman, but I don't really like some of the things that I'm seeing from Cease. He's had some significant control issues recently, and my numbers indicate that this is a Toronto spot. Team total over and maybe -1. Obviously, Anderson coming back. We talked about the injuries for the White Sox. Anderson coming back is huge, and so that will make me hesitant to bet against them in most spots. So, but my sense is that, or my numbers say that this is not a good spot for Cease, and that he will be vulnerable here against Toronto. And I'm leaning Toronto team total over first 5 and full game, despite the fact that Cease has such great overall peripherals.
Billy Friedrich saying Cease's home splits are worse than his road splits. Hoops 590 looking like in the under. THC's Rizzo says Anderson back in the lineup. Cease being money. White Sox are nothing. John Todd says, check this out. Under first 5 is his bet. Over 9 for Eric Jones. This game makes me extremely uncomfortable. Did you want to make your Blue Jays looks official? Give me something to cheer for.
Maybe Jimmy the Bag. I kind of trust you when it comes to the Blue Jays. What you don't think this is a big bounce back spot for the Jays? How are you feeling about them right now in these times, Jimmy the Bag?
I think that we're any general manager's dream. You have these young superstars, and you have a team with holes to fill. We all remember what happened when Anthopoulos went out and changed everything for the Jays when he picked up Tulowitzki and others, and then we went nuts in the second half of the year. But there are holes to fill, and this bullpen is extremely vulnerable. Gaussman has not looked very good lately. Our starting pitching has not been as strong as we had hoped it would be. And, Barrios coming off a rough start. They're a very tricky team to gamble with unless you're only taking team total overs, which may be the spot.
Which is, again, Jimmy, the theme of this show. Notably, subpar minds think alike, because I was just about to I am going to take the Toronto team total over and not overthink it. I'm just going to shop around here for a good line, maybe do a little bit of a safe thing and buy down to 4 at a big fave line. But yeah, it's one way or another. And I don't have the White Sox bullpen is looking top 10 to me right now, but that's okay. Let me just do a little line chopping. I'm going to and if it loses, that's okay.
Top 10 to you right now.
I'm sorry?
They are a top 10 bullpen to you right now, the White Sox?
Yeah, roughly.
We've been waiting for that to happen, so it's happened now. I can put together a decent 4. Oh, shoot, that was the wrong side. What am I talking about? Jesus, sorry, my bad. My 4 would be very costly.
Yeah. I'm seeing 4.5 at like minus 111 or so. Let's see what we got here. Yeah. Oof. Geez. Yeah. No. 4 minus. All right. I might have to go for a 4.5. Not really have a good opportunity to be safe. So I'll just take. I'll take 4.5. Pinnacle line minus 111. Toronto Blue Jays team total over 4.5.
That's available for me at minus 130. Bullshit. Jays team total over 4.5 at minus 111.
Yeah.
Well, I still like the White Sox to take this division. I just am embarrassed that I could have got it at plus 125 or higher. I just went in too early. I think the White Sox, Domi saying White Sox on paper have one of the easiest schedules after the All-Star break. Lee Davis saying Cease had bad starts at home versus the Yankees, Bo Sox, and Dodgers. I mean, DC saying Blue Jays are 1-4 in the last 5 games with right-handed start. DC giving us great stuff today.
Mm-hmm.
I love all of this. I love how we cap together. It's just extremely enjoyable and profitable. There's razor sharp picks in the house.
And look at Puzzler. The home plate umpire sucked big time. And then Fireside says, Puzzler, I saw that really bad. This is one hell of a comment section we got going here, Jimmy the Bag.
Deacon Mike says couldn't find a cap with a pigeon design, so he went with a cardinal. Deacon, we have interesting news for you. We have found the casino with home run props. Our man John Todd found it. I have not researched it. And also a possibility of golden showers included at this casino. A lot of question marks around that. But it's the Golden Moon Casino for home run props. I will look into this. I have John Todd home run props. I know you've been looking. Ronnie and Bergie are saying WNBA after this, Jimmy. Seriously, look. When you're a WNBA expert, it's 4-0 on the show. You make room for WNBA. Money speaks. It appears to be in Pearl River, Mississippi, Billy Friedrich says. Okay. We move on. Pete locks in the Blue Jays team total over 4.5 minus 111. We move on to 9:38 p.m. Eastern. Kansas City Royals 24-42, 12-21 on the road. At LA Angels, 33-37, 17-19 at home, Angel Stadium in Anaheim, California. Jonathan Heasley going up against Reed Detmers. Jonathan Heasley, 1-3, 3.72 ERA, 1.40 whip, 36 in the third, 26 Ks, 20 walks, 5 home runs. In his last start, he went 4 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 4 Ks, 2 walks, and a 3-2 win at the Giants. He's been quite a bit better in his last couple starts. Reed Detmers coming off a start in the 4-1 loss to the Dodgers, where he went 3 2/3, 4 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 homers, 6 Ks, 3 walks in LA at Chavez Ravine. Detmers 4.25 ERA, 1.08 whip. Royals are hitting 233. 666 versus lefties. Angels are hitting 247, 21 OPS versus righties. Royals bullpen 4.55 ERA, 1.49 whip. Angels bullpen 3.98 ERA, 1.16 whip. We will start with the weather in Anaheim and go from there. Anaheim, California, we are talking 80 Fahrenheit, 7.7 miles per hour out to center. Dies down to 5.4, but nice offensive weather there. Let's take a look at the line history here. We have the Royals opening up at plus 160. They're down to plus 145. So we have a 15-cent move to the Royals. From a totals perspective, it opened up at 9. It's now at 9.5 at a pick'em. And when we go over to the cash flow, in this one, 5,510 tickets in, 74% of the tickets, 90% of the cash on the Angels, yet the market moving to the Royals. And then 53% of tickets, 88% cash on the over, and it's gone up a half run. All right, let's see what's up here. Take it away, Pistol Pete, Loshak, Royals, Angels.
Yeah. My numbers were kind of indicating that the Angels might be a good play. Christopher Comatini says, wow, the Angels are terrible. Yeah, they definitely seem to have underachieved and underperformed more often than not so far this year. I haven't bet it yet. This is another one where I'll probably have a bet or two on this one, maybe even decent size by first pitch. I want to do a little bit more numbers digging, see where the market moves, and see what the lineups are. Yeah, obviously Rendon being out for the Angels is not great. This guy David McKinnon, though, might provide some production. Heasley looked vulnerable to me, and statistically he's vulnerable here according to my numbers. So a lean to the Angels team total over as well. Detmers, I'm guessing, will be okay. You know, got hit his last time out, but had 2 nice short appearances before that. Lean to the Angels team total over and lean to the Angels -1. Haven't bet it yet. Probably will by first pitch, but I don't know if I can commit to that right now.
Yeah, funny that money would be all over the Angels and yet moving towards the Royals. Billy Friedrich says this is a bum fight. AEOD says gas cans. Eric Jones got the 9. And I think that I'm going to stay off this. Moose money. It's all getting more and more appealing. Golden showers in Pearl River. He's booking a trip immediately. Noli No says couldn't pay me to watch this game. There you go. A little John Todd, Angels first 5. This is uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. Okay, let's move on. We have 2 games left before we get to a best bet in WNBA. But before we do, DC says Angels are 4-0 in their last 4 games as right-handed starter, but Angels are 0-5 in Detmer's last 5 starts, and Angels are 0-4 in their last 4 games as a favorite of -151 to -200. Nice work, DC. Nice work. 9:40 p.m. Eastern. Next up, Seattle Mariners 29-39, 14-21 on the road at the Oakland Athletics, 23-45, 8-25 at home. We are in Oakland Coliseum in Oakland, California. Let's talk weather. 89 Fahrenheit. Wow. When has it been that hot in Oakland? 89 Fahrenheit. 8.4 miles per hour out to right field. Dies down to 5.7 miles per hour. Ooh, it's hot in the Bay. Let's go to line history in this A's game here. We have the Mariners opening up -135. There's been a 10-cent move towards them immediately, right when it opened up to -145. It's come back 5 cents since. So 5 cents overall since the opening line. And from a total perspective, opened up at 7. That lasted for 58 minutes, then moved to 7.5, then to 8, and now 8.5. We've gone up a full run and a half. I imagine the money is all over this over. We have 6,166 tickets in. 76% of the tickets, 61% of the cash on the Mariners. So the bigger bets have come in on Caprillion. 70% of the tickets, 71% of the cash on the over. Marco Gonzalez, 6 2/3, 3 hits, 1 earned run, no homers, 2 Ks, 2 walks, and a 5-0 loss at home versus the Twins. The Gonzaga product has had a good season. 3.41 ERA, 1.31 whip, but just 40 Ks and 26 walks. Not the kind of K to walk ratio that you're looking for. Caprillion has had a rough start. It's an ugly season so far. In his last start, he went 3 2/3, 7 hits, 6 runs, 5 earned 1 homer, 2 K, 6 walks, and 10-1 loss at the Red Sox. Caprillion, 6.31 ERA, 1.50 whip. 27 Ks, 19 walks. Both have just atrocious K to walk ratios. Mariners versus righties, just 239, 699 OPS. A's versus lefties, just 223, 652 OPS. Both bullpens have been bad. What do we do here, Pete? Mariners, A's.
Yeah, my numbers were liking the Mariners and the over, and the Mariners team total over, as people in the comments section are indicating. LJ from H-Town, Mariners -1.5. Seattle 6-0 to the run line off a day of rest. Easy. I would agree with all that except easy. I don't know if it's necessarily easy money, but I would agree with the rest of it. John Todd says Seattle money line. D. Jenkins says A's so bad at home, and also pretty bad in general. But yeah, particularly at home. I would be definitely leaning Seattle team total over, Seattle -1. And Seattle team total over. Yeah, those are my that's how I'm thinking. And I think I will throw on maybe I'll throw on both of them, Jimmy the Bag. Why don't you read some comments and say some bullshit for a few seconds while I do some line shopping here. I like Seattle here and the Seattle team total over, although I wish I could get 4. It looks like I'm going to have to get 4.5 at like +100, but maybe I'll take that. What the hell? DC
says over is 5-0-2 in Caprilion's last 7 starts overall. Over is 5-0-1 in Caprilion's last 6 starts as an underdog. Moose money liking the under. K props at Oakland. Too much foul territory and less crowd noise. Easier to hear catcher move around. Marco Gonzalez under 3.5 Ks at +120 for Billy. So Billy doesn't. Let's go over to the splits here quickly. Let me just pull up these splits, man. Here we go. To the Mariners game. I feel like there's a pretty big advantage here in almost every facet of the game. But the Mariners are a tricky team to trust right now. Let's just see these splits here quickly. Marco Gonzalez splits. We have these home road splits they're a complete non-issue this year. I mean, it's a little worse on the road, but this should be a ballpark he's good at. Dom Reach said this is an underpark. I attack it at 8.5, but this one scares me. Mariners at my -140 limit, a little high for this team. The M's team total over 4 is -126 at bookmaker, Pete.
The team total over 4 is -126 at bookmaker?
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Who said that?
Our guy.
Billy Friedrich?
Billy Friedrich.
Yeah. Okay. So we don't give bullshit lines, but we would give a bullshit line that someone else gave us. Wow.
That's
all right.
true.
I will take both of those then. I will take Seattle -1 -103, and I will take Seattle team total over 4 -126 current line at bookmaker. Billy Friedrich. Shout out to you. Hell yeah. I guess that's not that unbelievable. Yeah. I mean, it's 4.5 +100 at Pinnacle.
I like the -1 spot.
I always thank Billy Friedrich, but this for this line, make that a double. Make it a double, Billy Friedrich. A double thank you for finding Mariners team total over 4 -126. You know what I'm saying, Jim? You know, sometimes you get whiskey and then you're like, make it a double. This thank you to Billy Friedrich for that line shopping. That's a double right there, finding over 4 at -126. Shout out to you, Billy Friedrich.
I know all about that.
Speaking your language here, baby.
Mariners -1. I'm going to be using. What are your thoughts on this Mariners ball club moving forward, Pete? Is there a time where we can be ahead of the market and trust these guys, or are they just going to be bad all year long?
I kind of trust them. I do in spots. I don't have a record of how my bets with them involved have gone overall on the year, but I feel like I've been okay in general. Let me just pull up some advanced stats. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're not great, but I think they should be a lot better than they are, and I think they'll be better than they have been. And in general, as today's bet is a good example of, I'm willing to pull the trigger on them, especially when getting nice lines and especially against teams that I'm happy to fade or pitchers that I'm happy to fade. Yeah, they should be better though. Maybe they have shitty coaching or something. Something up with this team.
Shout out to our guy Lamont Williams in the house. Lamont Williams, Nate Dogg. Great to see both of you guys. Let's just do one quick batter versus pitcher spot here. Oh, I must have skipped. My bad. I skipped the Diamondbacks. Sorry, I was moving too fast. I skipped the Diamondbacks Padres game. I apologize for that. You guys, we will grab it here in a second. Oakland batters versus Gonzalez. Tony Kemp. I mean, these are the least of our concerns. I mean, he gets on base, but nice numbers there against Caprillion. Yeah, I'm with you. I am with you. And I also don't mind that first five either. I don't mind that first five either. I'm going in on the Mariners today. All right, final game on the board. My bad. I didn't mean to skip this. Diamondbacks, 32-37, 15-18 on the road. At the Padres, 42-27, 18-13 at home. We're at Petco Park, San Diego, California. We're going to start with the weather here in San Diego. We have 74 Fahrenheit warm in San Diego too. 6 miles per hour out to right field. At first, it's out to right field slightly, and then it goes straight left to right within an hour. Then we'll move over to the line history in this Padres-Diamondbacks game, and then we will go to a best bet in WNBA. Our WNBA expert 4-0 on this show, and that's 4 different games he's bet. It's not tripling up or doubling up on any spot. Arizona, San Diego. Here we go. We have Gallon and the Diamondbacks opening up at plus 105 and now plus 110. 5-cent move towards the Padres. From a total perspective, opens up as a pick'em. We have a 10-cent move towards the under. We look at where the cash lies in this one. We have 4,085 tickets in. 82% of tickets, 84% of cash on the Padres. 56% of tickets, 56% of cash on the under. So not much going on there. DC saying over 8-0-1 in Minai's last 9 starts overall. And Dave Redling going on team total overs in that White Sox Jays game. And LJ saying that's a crazy stat. Both these pitchers 8-0-1 to the over in their last 9 starts. Lamont Williams, max bet Tampa Bay, New York, first 5 under 3.5. Okay, so Gallon coming off a nice start, 7-4 win at home versus the Reds, 7 innings, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 5 Ks, no walks, 2.91 ERA, 0.98 WHIP. Looked like he was slipping for a minute, got himself back together. Minaya coming off a rough start, 12-5 win at the Cubs. 4 innings, 8 hits, 5 earned runs, 2 homers, 5 Ks, 1 walk. Diamondbacks hitting just 232, 676 OPS versus lefties. Padres have no power against righties, 240, 690 OPS, similar to the Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks bullpen 4.29 ERA, 1.40 WHIP. And Pete gave us the heads up on this Padres bullpen when their numbers were not very good, that they were in fact a top 10 bullpen, and they've shown that way over the last little bit. Take it away here, Pete. Diamondbacks, Padres.
Yeah, I might have a bet on this one by first pitch. As of now, it's going to be a pass. And if I'm looking at anything, I'm thinking about maybe first 3 or first 5 under. Minaya, that was very forgivable in his last start. He's, usually gives up, a bunch of runs. But in this spot, he should be better. This is a relatively promising spot for him. And the same with Gallon. I'm not exactly sure what I think of. I still have to figure out what level I would expect Gallon to be going forward. But again, in this spot early on, he probably will be okay. So I haven't bet it yet. It's a very low total. We'll see. I'm going to have to pass for right now. There's a lot of conflicting signs and indicators here. Jimmy the Bag leaning under, though. First 5 and first 3. But definitely haven't bet that one yet. And that one is one I'll look into, but definitely might not be on when all is said and done.
It's tough. I mean, that 3.5 and juice to the under at my book.
Yeah, sure.
Moose Money says I like the Diamondbacks here early. And Chad Cannon, last 10 games, Arizona hitting 310, 922 OPS. First left-handed pitching, that's a great stat. James S. on the Padres in the under at plus 225. Look at that, Ron Walsek saying best 3-day guest list in the history of sports betting. Pete Doley and Mr. Okala Ragu. I love that, Ronnie, my man.
Oh, yeah, Ron Walsek. And I will say, Jimmy, that in this one, no run in the first inning at minus 135 wouldn't be the dumbest bet in the world. I mean, it might be a little bit dumb, but definitely not the dumbest bet in the world. First inning, no run.
Noli knows full game under 7. Minaya last 2 starts for Arizona, 13 innings pitched, 2 hits. Moose Money says like unders with Padres at home. No Manny. Our defense is still good. Bullpen has improved, but offense will need to play small ball. John Todd on Padres first 105. Eric Jones on San Diego money line. DC said Diamondbacks are 2-8 gallons last 10 starts as an underdog of 110 to 150. Reginald Luker is Diamondbacks money line. I'm starting to turn a little bit. You know, these teams, Padres just don't hit righties. Diamondbacks just don't hit lefties. I can understand why this is moving to the under. Noli No says 20 to 10 to the under at Petco. If I was doing that, I would prefer to just do the first 5 under 3.5. I wonder what my first 3 is. So let me ask you this, Pete, before we move on to WNBA.
Mm-hmm.
What's keeping you off the under? Why are you not making it official? What's the one angle that's just keeping you off?
Well, because Gallen has been obviously stumbling a little bit, and he's could easily be wearing down just a little bit. He has had his last 5 starts as a group were not terrible, but definitely not from what we not similar to what we were seeing earlier in this year and when he's been at his peak in previous years. So he's got a solid group of 5 starts there that are a little bit concerning. Not super concerning, but concerning if you're going to take a first 5 under at 3.5. You feel me?
Yeah.
And Manaea is not lights out either at this point. Although I do think this sets up to be a decent start for him, but yeah.
Moose Money saying, look for us to start running more. If you can get stolen base props, our line is much faster now.
Mm-hmm.
Julian Cesario on Brewer. Braves first 5 minus half. Twins first 5 minus half. Phillies money line. Jays money line. Mariners money line. Cards -1. Moose Money saying definitely Cronenworth is the number 1 hitter in this lineup. Noli knows his Padres recorded 1 hit after the second inning last night. Okay, I'll do it. All right, let's review all action here in MLB. Pete gets his card started with the Rockies first 3 -105. I'm in. But I'm just going to take the first 5, but I'm in. Pete is on the Dodgers team total over 5 at -135. I'm going to come in on the Dodgers -1.
That might have been a mistake, but all right, we'll go with it anyway.
Cubs, Pirates, no action. Pete's on the Orioles first 5 team total over 2.5 -119. I'm interested in that first 5 over 5.5. I'm going to look at it a little more. I've got question marks around it. The Tigers first 3, I will be moving on in Tigers, Red Sox. We are off Yankees, Rays, wanting to ensure that Fleming is on. John Todd, I have some of them, but if it's possible, if you could put them all together in one, I would in one like comment so I could easily copy and paste them. That would be the best case scenario for me. Say hey, play of the day number 1's the Braves first 5 -0.5 -114, and then Pete is on the Braves -1 at -121. I'm interested in both of those spots. And Puzzler says Ralph Garza now expected primary for Tampa Bay Rays. Next up, say hey, play of the day number 2. Twins first 5 -0.5 -120. Pete's on the Twins first 5 team total over 2.5 -115, and Twins first 5 -160. I'm coming in on that Twins first 5 -0.5. I'm joining. Pete's on the Rangers.
Noli knows what's Pete lighting up. I'm just posing. I'm posing, Noli.
Well,
Some breaking news real quick. Kevin Kiermaier on the IL along with Manny Margot, but everyone knew that. So Rays offense looking horrific.
Yeah. Kiermaier, that's a big loss, especially not as much with the stick as everywhere else. But Pete's on the Rangers -112 full game. I'm in. I'm tailing. Ron Crawford spreadsheet play today's Houston Astros. A lot of people on the Mets. I'm off that spot. Pete's on the Cards first 3 -130, first 5 team total over 2.5 -121. I'm interested in both the first 3 in the first 5. Pete's on the Jays team total over 4.5 at -111. That's -130 with my local, so no move for me. Royals, Angels, we stayed off, and then I'm adding the first 5 under 3.5 in Arizona, San Diego. Pete's on the Mariners -1 at -103, and the Mariners team total over 4 at -126. I'm coming in on the Mariners first 5 in full game. There you have it. There is our MLB action. There's our MLB action. Ich Schnizzle is on Dodgers under 9.5. Dodgers money line and under 9.5 parlay. Twins, Braves first 5 -0.5. Dodgers, Pirates, Braves, Yankees money line. Twins first 5 money line parlay at +947. Love you, Ich Schnizzle. And Chad Cannon looking at the Diamondbacks team total over 3.5 at +120. Okay, it is time. Oh, and Ron Walsek has looks for us in WNBA. Under 163, Dallas third game in 7 nights. Atlanta missing 3 role players in overtime game. First week, 66-59, Atlanta win. For Ron Walsek, who's a great WNBA capper. We'll copy and paste that. But let's bring in our WNBA expert. The man is 4-0 here on Betting with the Bag, and Loshak in the Bag, and Betting with the Bag. And we trust him implicitly. And he has a show on our channel, 4 p.m. Eastern on weekdays and 1 p.m. Eastern on Sundays. Please welcome to the show from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Parlay Teece in the house. Teece, what's happening, my man?
What's going on, Jimmy? What's going on, Pete?
What's going on, Parlay Teece? Great to be doing a video with you. I kind of love it, WNBA. You know what I mean? I love it from a betting perspective.
I do too. Everybody else should too. I don't know why it's gotten such a bad stigma the last couple of years. It's money.
Yeah, it's a little bit tough to find accurate, up to date information. A little harder than other sports, but yeah, that can be a little annoying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, we have big news that has just come in. Big news. Our guy Jimmy Gomez celebrating his birthday today, requesting a birthday pic, sir. Calling you sir. Says,
all right.
Possible. What a great guy Jimmy Gomez is. I've had the pleasure of hanging out with him on multiple occasions, and I love the man. Jimmy Gomez, happy birthday, my guy. What a great guy. He just fits the personality of us so well. He just fits in perfectly with our group. Family man, great guy, loves to booze it up. Just perfect. He's I can't if I close my eyes and I imagine a low bagger, it would be Jimmy Gomez. Was in the Army, fought for America, fought for our rights, and he's just quality. And it's his birthday, so requesting.
I was about to say no, Jimmy. After all that shit, of course I'm going to say yes. A perfect low. Of course I have to say, okay, happy birthday to you, Jimmy Gomez. You got it. I'll give you a birthday pick. And most important, happy birthday to you. I hope you have a fucking awesome day and month and year.
And Pistol Pete, a little background on our man Teece. You guys sharing the screen together for the first time. Teece is a professional gambler, and he focuses almost solely on college basketball and WNBA. And he focuses on first halves where he thinks he can keep the volatility down to a minimum. And I agree with that look. And he gambles for a living, Pete. That's the man we have in front of us. He pays for his daughter's education through this. And I love having him on the show. So let's get right to work here. And I'm going to let both you guys. Now, Pete, I gave you a late heads up that we were.
I don't follow every WNBA game every day, but I try to follow it as much as I can, for sure.
All right, let's go. We are only doing best bet here. If you want all of Teece's action, you check out his show at 4 p.m. Eastern right here on Pub Sports Radio. Dallas Wings 8-8, 5-3 on the road at the Atlanta Dream, 7-8, 4-3 at home. Gateway Center in College Park, Georgia. We already heard Ronnie Walsek's thoughts on this spot. Why don't we just touch on the line history here? We have, as always, a ton of movement. Dallas opens up at -5. They get up to -5.5, and then it moves in the opposite direction. Goes down to 5, 4, 3.5, and then 2 hours ago back to 4. So there's been a lot of movement, a U-shaped movement. This total opened up at 163.5. The initial move was to the under, down to 162.5, but it has since shot up to 164. Actually went up to 164.5, back to 164. That is the line history here. Let's start with our expert and then hand it over to Pete. Unless, Pete, would you like to?
No, you go up the ladder. Give me the bag, not down. Up the ladder of expertise, not down.
Let's go.
Start with the dumber one, and that's me, at least in this sport, for this game.
So what are your thoughts here in Wings Dream, Pete?
It'll be a 10-second analysis. Two guard-oriented teams, injuries, which complicates things on both teams. I don't love it for Atlanta, but Atlanta's lost a bunch of tough games in a row. Now they're playing a team where they match up relatively well with, and is closer to their level. And gotta think Atlanta is the play here, and maybe even more so first quarter and or first half. So I would probably, if you gave me a free play on it, I'd probably go with the first quarter at Atlanta about +1. But seems like Atlanta as a dog gotta be the play, full game and or first quarter, first half.
Let's hear what our master has to say. Teece, take it away.
Wow. What do you guys even need me for?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I jumped on Atlanta last night at 5.5. It's down to 3.5. I'm like, oh, I can't stand this line movement. The line movement just kills me. You know, I don't know if I like Atlanta at 3.5.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, it's a 2-point line movement, but that's a big 2 points. So, I mean, I still have to stick with Atlanta for first half. I was thinking, okay, well, maybe I'll go Dallas first half on this. This isn't a move that I made, and I'm not even going to go there. I'm not even going to go there after Pete just blew me out. So and then Ron Walsack over here with his under 163. These guys are blowing my mind over here because I was liking the over. I don't know which way to go on this. You guys have me twisted, but I'm going to go with my first look on this, and it was Atlanta 5.5. I know I can't get that now. I'll stick with it at 3.5.
Well, there's four at Pinnacle.
Yeah, you can get 4 minus 110, easily available. Dream full game plus 4 at minus 110. So you hear Ron's thoughts, notes on why he was liking the under. Dallas third game in 7 days. Atlanta missing 3 role players in overtime game. What were your opposing thoughts? Why you were leaning towards the over, Teece?
First off, because Atlanta's missing a lot of players. Tiffany Hayes is going to be out. Kia Vaughn's out on COVID protocols. Nia Coffey, she's been out. And Erica Wheeler's out. So, I mean, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking to myself, there's a lot of defense missing from this Atlanta squad. And, you know, Atlanta can play a fast-paced game. We saw that against Chicago. So I have a feeling that this is going to be a fast-paced game. I really like the over in this game. And I was going to come at you with that as my best bet. Until I read Ron's report over there. But I'm still on it. I'm still on the over for 163. So, I mean, you guys get 2 out of me. You get Atlanta and the over 163.
All right. We did find you a minus 106, by the way, on that full game, plus 4 on the Dream. Let's find the over here for you and see what we can get you in this one. I'll see if we can find a 163. I only see a 163.5, but I'll keep shopping. Pete, any of this make you want to make an official WNBA pick, as I have not made any of those?
Sure, I'll give Atlanta, and I could give them +1 at minus 105, or I could just give them on the money line plus 120.
And that's first quarter.
Yeah, sorry, first quarter. Yeah, I'll give them on the money line. I'll take Atlanta Dream first quarter money line plus 120.
Plus 120. There you go. That is locked in. Let me see if I can find a 163 for Teece.
Can I say happy birthday to my guy, Jimmy Gomez? Happy birthday, brother.
Absolutely, you can. What a great guy he is. And we have a birthday pick coming up.
Yeah.
I cannot find a one. Oh, I can find over 163. It's going to cost you minus 114.
Do it.
All right. Teece is on the over 163 at minus 114.
Actually, Jim,
yes.
Let me just do +1 minus 105. +1 minus 105. What am I fucking nuts here? All right.
Oh, that's so funny. That's so funny. I like it.
Current line at Will Hill +1 minus 105 first quarter.
Another reason why I'm liking the over on this is you also have Dallas missing Sabali, however you want to pronounce her name, the center for Dallas. She's been out the last couple games, and something in my bones is just telling me this is a fast-paced game. So I mean that's probably my best bet in this game, to be honest with you. That in Atlanta. I mean, I just like them both.
I like it, Teece. Oh, why don't you stick around with us while we put a bow on this? Again, if you want to catch his entire show, 4 p.m. Eastern. Leonard Porsche Jr. says, great work today, Pete. I will be tailing you as always, sizing my bets appropriately.
Huge shout out to Leonard Porsche Jr., George in Vegas. Fuck yeah.
I love the guy. He is a great, great guy. But we've come to a very important moment in the show. for a beloved member of the Low Bag family. It's Jimmy Gomez's birthday, and that means the pressure's on.
Oh God, I can't keep doing this. First of all, happy birthday, Jimmy Gomez. Oh God, I don't know. I mean, the fucking obvious play is like Minnesota first half team total over 2.5. But a lot of people can't bet first half team totals, right, Jim?
Some can't, but let me also preface that your birthday picks have started to hit at a very high rate. The ROI has become very positive. So, trust yourself here. Let's ask Jimmy Gomez. Jimmy, can you make first 5 team total bets? As if
What
you
did he say?
can.
He can?
Well, I don't know. But Domi says a lot can't, though.
Yeah, I understand that.
He's not messing around though. Where he's going to put some. Well, we don't want to put too much price. Let's just not tell him how much. Let's not tell him how much you're going to bet. Jimmy.
Oh God, I don't fucking know. All these fucking plays are like, of course they could lose. I mean, Jim, Toronto, you're the fucking Toronto expert. It's a bounce back spot for them, right? That's a hitters friendly park relatively. It's not a high total. There's no injuries on Toronto. They're all there, right, Jim?
He cannot play team totals for the first 5. He can't. He doesn't have.
Okay.
Good,
All
good.
right.
Important that we asked.
Okay, well then maybe it'll just be like Atlanta -1. Just keep it simple like that. Maybe just Atlanta, Minnesota first 5. That's like super. Ryan's going to be good, right? Ryan's going to be good, and Minnesota's going to hit that guy. Aren't they? All right. You know what? Jesus. All right. You know what? Look, let's just fucking do this. Let's just fucking go with Atlanta -1. -121. All right there. Happy birthday, Jimmy Gomez.
-121.
You know if this one loses it, you bet size appropriately. It's the thought that counts, right? And we all get shitty presents, but we love them because it's the thought that counts. Sometimes we have great presents, but even with the great presents, it's still the fucking thought that counts, right? I'm freaking out, but happy birthday, Jimmy Gomez. Hope you enjoyed this show. Hope you have a great day, great week, great month, great year, and most importantly, great life.
Oh, it was well done. It was well done.
Look at that. He's laughing. All right. That's okay.
That is very exciting. The birthday pick is in Braves on the -1 line. I just popped in the -1 calculator in case anybody needs it. John Todd's on the Dodgers first 5 and the Twins first 5 as well. And Jimmy says, yes, sir. Thank you, Loshak. I appreciate it, sir. Ooh, yeah.
Happy birthday, Jimmy Gomez.
G Martinez knows. He goes, this ain't no pizza bet. Jimmy going ham. We don't want that because now this is going to be the one game that weighs on Pete, and he's got all this action. All he's going to be thinking about is the Braves. I'm going to be cheering. I'm going to be on it too. I'm going to be cheering. Heavily.
And then when you think like maybe I should have just given Minnesota because Ryan is good. Savali sucks. It's like, obviously he is probably, but I don't know. It's -160. I just gave Atlanta,
Well, we love it. And we are going to close our show with a video that we want you guys to take a little peek and see of. But before we do, Teece, thank you so much. Follow our man Teece at Parlay Teece and catch his show 4 p.m. today. 4 games on the board, and he is 4-0 on the show. And this is the first time he's doubling up. We'll see if he will be 6-0 when it's all said and done. Pete, we love working with you so much. Let's go around the horn quick. Teece, any last words for the Cappers here supporting the show?
First off, what an honor it is to share a screen with the Pete Loshak. My goodness, man, I've been watching you since I was in my early 30s.
Yeah.
I appreciate being here and chat as always. The chat is just it, man. I love it. I love the chat. Appreciate everybody on here. Ron, I expect to see you at 4:00. And Ronnie, man, I can't get up that early, bro. If you give me a 10 a.m. call time, guess who's not going to be there? So thank you, Jimmy, again for having me on the show. Hopefully I can come through for you guys. We can go 2-0 today and keep that record on point because I'm coming for you, Dutchie. I'm coming for you.
There he goes, Parlay Teece. Pistol Pete, we love these Tuesdays very much. Any last words for the Capper Sport in the show?
Yeah, just it's the thought that counts. Those are my last words for today's show. It's the thought that counts.
I love it. Thank you guys so much. We're going to close on a video here, but want to give a shout out to all you guys. DC, great to have you back in action. G. Martinez, Rob Free. Sorry we didn't get college baseball picks. I'll see if I can wrangle somebody up who's working on that so we can fix that as we move forward. Mal says, anyone look at the Rockies pitchers there? I like his K-pop. He's been very consistent on the road. I like Feltner. I'm backing him. Nasty Nate, Dommy Gun Ricci, the birthday boy Jimmy Gomez in the house. John Todd, great to have you rolling with us. An absolutely great group. Jake Burns, Billy Friedrich, Leonard Porsche Jr., Rance, Maurice Walker, Ronnie and Bergia, Mad Stoney. Thank you guys. James S., Jay Peasy for Sheezy. All you guys, thank you so much for your support. And happy birthday, Jimmy Gomez, the man. Jimmy Gomez. That is it for us. Enjoy the sneak peek of what we got going on here at Pub Sports Radio. But most important, big thank you to our producer here, Jose. He does such a great job. And on behalf of all Jeff Slaughter and everybody at Pub Sports Radio, thank you guys so much for your support. Let's get this fucking cash. Leche, hey, Los Bookmakers.
Who's the best? Ray's the best. Boone's Fishing. Check them out. Calaveras Lake, Texas, baby. Come see Boone's.
Hey, you down there? Up and over. There you go, Big. Go get it.
Hey, yo. Big show in the box. Oh, gets in the box. I get in there.
Oh, perfect. There we go. It's coming in, Nate. How are you feeling back there? Yeah, that fish of yours holding out.
Smile, ugly.
An actual good fish. See how you're reeling it cool. Big show, like.
So how many did you catch?
I caught 4.
How many went in the box?
1.
How many went in the box?
Oh! Did you?